Welcome to Week 6 of college football. Welcome to Memphis, Tennessee, here on Beale Street. Houston's in town, this great American Conference matchup against Memphis. But Beale Street, Andre, known for great music.
Yeah, music, rock and roll, and the blues. And speaking of the blues, Houston's singing the blues right now. And to get back on track, their quarterback, Clayton Tune, has got to start playing the right tune. Over 10,000 total yards in his career. He can drop dimes out of the sky to Tank Dell, who's an outstanding receiver, his go-to receiver. Big-time player. If they're going to get back on track, he's got to get himself going again.
Andre's talking about singing the blues, but Memphis is known for its rock and roll, and the Tigers' offense right now is rocking, led by quarterback Seth Henigan.
Sophomore quarterback Seth Henigan has been outstanding. Set school records last year as a true freshman and has continued to build on it. Spreading the ball around to multiple receivers. He's the unequivocal leader of this Memphis program. A coach's son, super smart, super talented, as good as it gets in the American.
Andre and Roy, they can talk music all they want. When we're in Memphis, we're talking food and ribs at Rendezvous. I have three things on this plate: ribs, beans, and slaw. When I think of the Memphis football team, three things stand out. One is their head coach, Ryan Silverfield. Since he arrived at Memphis as a head coach in 2020, he's a 14-2 home record. Second is Seth Henigan. He's actually from Texas. He said the barbecue's better there. He's nuts. But in his sophomore campaign, he's beefed up, he's able to take the hits, and he is a smart quarterback who's an honor roll student. Lastly is their defense led by Zay Collins. 10 consecutive games with a caused turnover. This unit is flying and buzzing, and the Memphis Tigers are rocking, rolling, and eating.
Barbecue, blues, and college football in prime time on a Friday night. What a time to be alive. The Cougars and the Tigers kickoff is headed your way next. And welcome back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Ram Trucks on a beautiful Friday evening. You're watching the American Conference on ESPN. And here inside Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, just about set to go. The sun setting as we speak. Memphis won the coin toss and deferred. The Cougs on the road, set to receive the opening kickoff. Dana Holgorsen trying to right the ship. A big game tonight, year number 4. You see his record. Story of the season so far, overtime. 3 games have gone to extra period so far this season. Ryan Silverfield, his 4th campaign. He's 14-2 here at home. And the Tigers have won 4 straight. Great rivalry inside the American. Could be the final matchup that we see between these two, with Houston off to the Big 12 next year.
Yeah, Memphis won the toss. They just decided to put a very talented defense on the field here early.
Sawyer and Golden back deep to receive, awaiting the kick from Noah Grant. And the Cougs will get it at the 25 after the touchback. 5th-year senior quarterback Clayton Tune has played well this year. Andre, he will be under the spotlight once again tonight, and perhaps Dana Holgorsen wanting to be a bit more aggressive with the early approach.
Yeah, he's the strength of this Cougar offense, obviously, with the experience. He's battle-tested. He can throw it. He can run it. Dual-threat quarterback. And you see there over 10,000 total yards in his career. 4th player program history to accomplish that, needing him to get off to a great start here on this initial drive.
Cougs without the services of Tajon Henry. Ankle surgery on Wednesday. They hope to see him at some point later this year. Brandon Campbell flanking Tune in the backfield on 1st down. Tune extends it, has a man, passes incomplete. Broken up at the 40. Matthew Golden, the intended receiver. Joshua Hastings in coverage.
Hastings with 2 tackles a week ago in that game against Temple, and really solid on the back end. I mean, they point to the front 7 as being the strength of this defense. They played the run extremely well this year.
Interesting with both of these teams this season, kind of getting off to slow starts as in the actual games. Memphis was shut out at home in the first half last week against Temple before exploding for 24 in the second half. He'll dump it off to Brandon Campbell and ushered out short of the 30. The 3rd down coming up after a gain of 4.
Yeah, nice read by Clayton Tune. Saw a guy in the curl area and was going to go there to a receiver, but all of a sudden someone from the Memphis secondary flashed, and the experience shows up. Don't throw it into coverage, check it down, which is exactly what Clayton Tune did in that situation.
See the numbers first 2 quarters.
That is not Houston Cougar football at 8.2 points a game in the first quarter.
30 seconds in, it's 3rd down and 6. Time for 2. Heaves it, pass is caught. Matthew Golden has the reception, and that's a chain mover after a gain of 13.
Yeah, he is still learning to play fast according to this coaching staff, but Matthew Golden is going to be a star. Heavily recruited, chose the University of Houston over Texas, Arkansas, LSU, and Wisconsin. He is a star in the making.
Campbell remains on the field, and his first touch straight ahead. No gain. Jalen Allen penetrated. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, that's that stout front 7 that we just described. Talking to Ryan Silverfield, he said, hey, we got to tackle well, limit the explosive plays, and then get off the field on 3rd down. Those are the keys of the game for this Memphis defense.
2nd and 10. Tune surveys, now takes off and escapes for a gain of 1, maybe 2, and that's it. Ducksworth in the area made sure that play didn't explode for further yardage.
Yeah, great coverage on the back end and a 2-deep look for this Memphis secondary, thinking everything's going to open up with a guy removed from the line of scrimmage or from the box. They're just so fast and so quick that it just shut down quickly on Clayton Tune.
3rd down and a long 8. Cougs, the preseason favorites in the American this year.
You should have Dale in the slot, and the penalty already.
False start will back him up 5. Henry Johns, our referee tonight.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty.
Dana
Still 3rd down.
wanted to stay away from his penalties. The most penalized team in all of college football through 5 games. And you're going to put yourself in a hole in a lot of situations if you can't sit in and not have pre-snap penalties.
.53 infractions on the season so far against the Cougs. 3rd and 13. Pressure. Tune escapes. And against his body looking for Golden. The pass is incomplete. The pressure coming from Greg Rubin. That cornerback blitz.
Yeah, that's one he's got to hit. And, you know, you're saying, well, he's not protected. He's on the move. But this is a throw that we're used to seeing Clayton Tune make. He's got to be out in front of Matthew Golden, or just have Matthew Golden stop there and hit him right between the 1 and the 0. But that one has to be made, especially on 3rd down.
Lane Wilkins steps in for the first time. Punter for Houston. Eddie Lewis back deep to receive. The Tigers have been stout defensively. And from the 17, Lewis sent out of bounds crossing the 20. A punt of 45. And a return of just 5. And the Tigers get the football for the first time. Oh, Seth Hennigan, the Texas native, a sophomore out of Denton, Texas. His dad, of course, longtime head coach at Ryan in Denton. And the numbers last year, you talked about the true freshman records established here.
Yeah.
Memphis has produced a lot of great quarterbacks over the years. So that's saying something that Hennigan was able to do what he did.
Yeah, he's super poised. He's efficient. You talked about it. A coach's son, mature beyond his years. He's got solid arm strength. He's become one of the leaders of this team in a very, very short period of time.
Houston defense will get a couple of DBs back tonight, and that could be critical. Early touch for Brandon Thomas. And no real estate available. Trell Bankston led the charge. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, we went down on the field before the game, watching guys warm up, saying hello to both coaches. And I saw Brandon Thomas. I was
oh my gosh.
I'm like, he is put together. He is a good-looking football player.
Yeah, perhaps a star in the making. 211 rushing yards so far this year. 3 minutes in. Still scoreless on 2nd down. And again, a little push pass, and it's dropped. Now perhaps footsteps coming. Brandon Thomas heard it. It'll be 3rd down.
Got to catch that one. And it's about as soft as it's thrown, about as easy a pass that you'll receive. A little shovel pass by Hennigan with a heads-up play.
You You tell me that's how you teach your basketball team to actually execute the chest pass, but you prefer the bounce pass.
Especially in the half court. Once we cross half court, bounce passes.
Two teams known for, and their programs known for great basketball. They're down at 10. Hennigan off the back foot. That's a first down. Ivory corralled it, and a gain of 14 on 3rd and 10.
One of the things they wanted to accomplish coming in, only 36% on 3rd downs. A goal for them, or a key, is execute on 3rd downs and just focus on what you need to do. And great route by Ivory, and a nice delivered pass by Seth Hennigan.
And a mechanical engineering major. Keep this drive alive. Kobe Drake in motion. Hennigan again wants to float one deep. Ivory in the area, and coverage by Art Green. Art Green is back, and we're told that that's Houston's best cover corner and perhaps a key missing ingredient for this defense lately.
Yeah, he has been out the last few weeks. A guy that they really like to man up on and or use man coverage with. Missing him along with Owens and Newton on this Houston defense.
Thomas left side. It'll be 3rd down and long. Close losses. How about Texas Tech on the road in Lubbock? Double overtime. Dre, they gave up a 4th down and 20. Critical play this year early in the season for Dana Holgorsen Stadium.
Yeah, that Texas Tech game, 4th and 20. Tough to get themselves off the field. And they were in a dogfight from the onset with UTSA that game. Able to come out of that one with a 2-point win, but that was a dogfight to start the season.
3rd down and 9. First possession of the night for Memphis. Hennigan. Jump to get that pass out of there. Contact, no whistle. And a late penalty marker flies in from way back near the 25-yard line.
Yeah, the back judge is calling it. The side judge, I think, was not going to call it, but they'll talk about this. Thought maybe the defender, Jace Rogers, got there a little bit early and wrapped up and didn't allow the receiver to come back to the football, Gabriel Rogers.
Pass interference. Defense, number 6. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
It's 2 big penalties. A false start that put the Cougars in a hole for 3rd and long when it was 3rd and medium. And then they're bailing out Memphis to give them a first down and 15 yards to continue this drive.
So Rogers on Rogers results in the PI. And Memphis has the ball in Houston territory.
Yeah, and Rogers was a guy they wanted to target early in this game. They're going to go to him along with Prescorn, the tight end, as we get into this first quarter a little bit more.
Yeah, Prescorn has been electric in red zone situations. Far side toss. Asa Martin just checked in at running back. Close to a first down. Coverage by Art Green. They'll move the sticks.
We're talking about Prescorn. He's caught a touchdown pass in the last 4 games. High school quarterback, came in and developed himself. Now he's 6'5", about 255 pounds. Can run, can go up and get it.
Number 86, tight end for the Memphis Tigers. As Martin tumbles ahead to the 40, stopped by Cedric Williams. We're told as well that Caden Prescorn's younger brother, pretty good tight end himself.
Recruited. Everybody in the country is after this young man. He recently had offers from Georgia, Alabama. That's enough said right there. He just dropped the mic on that one.
Big time offer. 2nd down after the TFL. 12 yards to go for Memphis. Tigers have won 4 straight, only loss against Mississippi State way back in week 1. Martin remains on the field. Hennigan, the sprint out, pass caught at the 30. 2 yards short of the line to gain. That's a 10-yard pickup. Gabe Rogers.
Almost didn't recognize Seth Hennigan. Yeah, he's wearing the same jersey, same name on the back of the jersey, but he is bulked up. He added about 20 pounds to a frame from last year. He looks like a college quarterback right about now. You talk about a guy that has changed his look. He looks the part now.
He needed those pounds last week, right? He ran it 19 times in that win against Temple, the comeback win. That was a career high in terms of rush attempts. Hand off A-gap, and Martin pick up a couple on 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2 rather.
He's going to have just enough for the first down.
You know, you guys were mentioning Seth Hennigan and gaining the weight. He told me this week he had to put the weight on. When he came last year, he was a true freshman, enrolled in January, gained the 20 pounds because of the ability to get out of the pocket and take those hits. Keep in mind, he was sacked 4 times last week against Temple, 14 on the season. That's the Achilles heel right now for this Memphis Tigers offense. Can they protect him? The added pounds obviously help.
They put on some of that weight hanging out with Clark, eating some local barbecue, judging by what we saw in the open.
Clark tell it he just had slaw last night.
No, he had more than slaw. We all did.
Oh, man. I didn't have any trouble going to sleep, that's for sure. I think I was driving back, falling asleep. It hit me like a ton of bricks.
Loss of 1 by Martin. That is the best thing, one of the best things about coming here. The tremendous food.
Absolutely.
All over the city. Brandon Thomas checks back.
You're right. It's everywhere.
Yeah. We're suckers for barbecue, to say the least. Trickeration will bring the end around as Rodgers tries to escape to the edge. Makes a couple of Cougs miss. He's got a first down. Big play for Memphis to keep the drive going on 2nd down and long.
Boy, excellent play call, and it was executed extremely well by this Tiger offense. They built a wall for Gabriel Rodgers to run through. Nice blocks out in front, and another first down. And this is where you take your eyes to number 86, who has just been a red zone weapon for this offense.
15-yard gain into the red zone for the first time go the Tigers, and you see in said red zone they have been electric. To the edge, and slipping short of the 5 is Eddie Lewis.
Yeah, they can still get a first down, but Prieskorn threw one heck of a block for Lewis out in front blocking. Sometimes you got to do the dirty stuff, the dirty work, before you get rewarded. But watch 86 out in front. They build a nice wall with both tight ends, or excuse me, Kobe Drake out in front.
Straight ahead goes Thomas on 2nd and short, inching his way for a first down. It'll be first down and goal for the Tigers. Mutant made the tackle after a 6-yard gain.
This has just been one of those methodical drives. Houston playing solid run defense, but it's been through the air where Seth Hennigan and this group of receivers have been able to move the football.
You talked about the physique of Brandon Thomas. He has been punishing at times this season. 6 touchdowns on the year. 3 tight ends on the field. Thomas gets the handoff. Thomas straight ahead, and that's a touchdown.
Well, when you're catching instead of initiating, it's going to be tough to stop Memphis in short yardage situations. A lot of bodies moved, but it was the blue shirts pushing on the white shirts. Jonah Gamble, Jacob Likes moving bodies, and along with John Hassel, an extra tight end in the game, along with Prieskorn, get it done up front.
Brandon Thomas, the native of North Little Rock, Arkansas, was a finalist for Mr. Football in that same state. Now with 7 touchdowns on the young season, 22 in blue, getting it done in the Tigers, aiming for their 5th win in a row here tonight.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Well, certainly he is a man of the people. Ryan Silverfield giving out pizzas yesterday to the Memphis students on campus, and also some tickets involved there as well, trying to get some more folks out to the game tonight. Hey, he's got the beard going.
Whatever you
well.
can do. You guys, beard brothers or something.
We bonded a little bit this week, you know.
He was super on our call with him this week.
Talked to him pregame as well. He said he went with the 2-guard earlier today to kind of lighten the beard up a little bit. We said, Coach, it looks great. You don't have to explain anything.
His wife called for the 2-guard.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, she knows a little bit about how low to shave it, huh? Takes instruction well. Oh, Clark's all right down there. It's getting a little cool.
It was cold last week at the Rose Bowl. Clark did okay. I don't think we were expecting this. We did think it was going to be warmer. Now that the sun is set, the temperature is maybe in the mid-60s. Sawyer watches that one sail over his head. Cougs get it back for their second possession. Memphis leading 7-0. Brandon Thomas with a shout out. Well, a great friend involved in all who broadcast, Tom O'Jackson, announcing his retirement last month. That retirement coming this weekend. Well, it'll be his last weekend as part of the American Athletic Conference. First an associate commissioner with the Big East and a career spanning over 50 years. Now set to enjoy a lot more time with the family known as OJ. And Tom, we certainly appreciate all you have done for all of us for all of these decades. Had a chance to sit down with him the last time the American Athletic Conference tournament 3 years ago, and always just a real pleasure to talk with. Cougs get it back, trailing 7-0 as Clayton Tune delivers low and incomplete. Tank Dell, the intended receiver, first time he's been targeted tonight, number 1 in red and white.
Yeah, and he had Jalen Allen, the defensive end for Memphis, barreling down on him. Really couldn't step into that throw and make an accurate throw.
Andre, seems obvious, but obviously an important drive here for the Cougs, given what Memphis did, 78 yards in 14 plays.
It's almost like this early in the game, it's a must-score drive in some capacity.
Golden has it towards the 30. Stop there by Canton Arku after a gain of 7.
Yeah, with it being so early, you hate to go there and say, oh, it's a must-score drive, but just from a momentum standpoint, you don't want to let this one get out of hand early. And so, nice catch there by Matthew Golden, setting up a third down and short.
Dana Holgorsen in great spirits in our pregame conversation on the field.
Great this week, and that is how hard the Cougs work this week to get ready.
Pressure for Tune. Step away from it. Tune's going to rush for a first down. Slides in safely near the 40, a 6-yard gain on 3rd and 3.
And that's what he can give you. When you drop deep in zone coverage, Clayton Tune's athletic enough to make plays like this, and they're going to need him to do this and not allow Memphis to just rush 4 and try to get there and cover up on the back end. He's going to have to step up and make plays with his legs tonight.
And no Tajon Henry. Brandon Campbell with the start. Approaching 5 to go in the first on first down. Campbell straight ahead. He had a gain of 2.
You know, gentlemen, keep in mind, Houston was 12-2 a season ago, and Clayton Tune, when we spoke this week to him, he told me he's been frustrated, disappointed. He knows they need to win, and they can win these games. For him, though, he pointed to 2 things offensively. He said the holding calls on the offensive line have been a killer, and he can do a better job throwing the ball, fitting into tight windows with his receivers, just giving the receivers every opportunity to make a catch.
That sounds like a leader, doesn't it?
Certainly does. 2nd and 8. Tune all night to throw. Dumps it out to his tight end, Trahan. A couple drops last week. That should be enough for the first down, and it is. Tyler Murray sent him out.
Nice job of going to him early, getting him a catch, cemented in this game right away. You mentioned the fact, had a couple of drops last week, 3 or so, but you go right back to a weapon like Trahan because he's going to open up so many things. The middle of the field, he'll have that with this too high safety look that Memphis likes to run. He should feast in that area tonight.
Yeah, we asked Coach Holgorsen about those drops, and he said he's been so good for us for so long. 2-time team captain, no worries whatsoever. Campbell right up the middle into Memphis territory, 7-yard gain.
Close to a first down. Nice run on first down by Brandon Campbell, who has stepped in and done some pretty good things in a very short period of time for this running game.
Big weekend of college football, as we like to say on Friday nights. This is the table setter. Think about the Red River Showdown tomorrow. LSU, Tennessee. Campbell going to be stopped in the backfield by Zay Collins. That's a 1-yard loss. 3rd down coming up.
How good is Zay Collins? Coaches love how this young man plays. He's playing well this year. He loves the game. He's a film junkie, studies tendencies, always at the facility working on his craft, and it shows on game day.
Maybe the other thing that stood out with Zay Collins, said he loves the city, loves the school.
Yeah.
Bleeds blue.
He is all Tiger, that's for sure.
Keelan Walker, now the running back on 3rd and 4. In time for 2. And it's picked off. Intercepted across the middle. The first turnover of the night. Quindell Johnson got there. 3rd interception of the season for 15 in blue. And he is a ball hawk to say the least.
Clayton Tune stayed locked on Nathaniel Dale, his go-to receiver. Way too long, forced the ball there, and Johnson makes him pay on the back end. Let's go back and take a look at that last pass. You're going to see Tank Dell in the slot, pushing for an in route at about the 30-yard line. Clayton Tune's got plenty of time, but his eyes never leave number 1, Nathaniel Dell. Stays there, goes late. Bad things happen late over the middle of the field, Roy.
About 11 straight games now. The Memphis defense has forced a turnover. Hennigan on first down. Races ahead into plus territory. Give him 12 on the play. We saw this a lot last week in the win against Temple.
You're also seeing the strength, the 20 pounds of added muscle to the frame of Seth Hennigan, able to escape an arm tackle by a defensive lineman, DeAnthony Jones, and makes his way to a first down. You see that weight gain, the strength of Seth Hennigan as he escapes and makes plays with his legs.
7 first downs already for the Tigers. First touch, Javion Ducker, the transfer out of NIU. Gain 6.
Another great block by Caden Prescorn, the tight end, and they're just going right up the gut. It'll be a long night if you can't stop the run coming right up the middle.
Set up the screen far side. Rock Taylor.
Oh, nice tackle.
Stopped by Jace Rogers, short of the line to gain.
Yeah, that's a heck of a tackle by Jace Rogers. I mean, he's getting ready to at least pick up the first down at the very least. He just kind of reaches out, hangs on, and gets him on the ground.
3rd down and a long one coming up for Memphis.
They had success going right up the middle. Would not be surprised if they would have tested again.
Ducker, the running back, skates, goes in motion. And they'll send it back to Gabe Rogers to the edge, and that's a first down and a little bit more. Tripped up short of the 30 by Rogers.
And you have only DeAnthony Jones to that side, but he's not fast enough nor quick enough to make a play on a receiver like Gabriel Rogers once he gets leveraged or out leveraged.
Andre, is that normal to call 2 plays looking like that with the end around reverse action in 1 quarter? It's a little different, isn't it?
Well, they've obviously picked up something on film.
Ducker straight ahead and stop at the 30. Trail Bankston has been active in these first 15 minutes. What could be the final play of the first? As Memphis elects to use tempo, and they will. Movement. Could be a free play. Hennigan knows it. Back shoulder toss incomplete. Some contact. No flag deep down the field. Eddie Lewis, the receiver. Jace Rogers was running right along beside of him.
Offside. Defense. Number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's the 3rd penalty here in the first quarter alone. The 2nd pre-snap penalty against the Cougars. Had a false start, and now an offsides penalty.
Better start for Memphis's offense this week. Early advantage and on the move once again. You see the penalty numbers for the Cougs. It's been an issue. Second and 5. Hennigan's going to keep it. A little RPO out to the tight end. Prescorn to the end zone.
All he does is what?
Score touchdowns.
The strength again of Seth Henigan on full display as he breaks a tackle. This is meant to go to Prieskorn right out of the gate. Henigan had to break a tackle and then had the presence in mind to still get the ball out. Watch Prieskorn as he comes out the backside. All of a sudden you're with Donovan Mutin, one of the better tacklers in the American Conference. He's unable to get Henigan on the ground. The result is touchdown Prieskorn.
5th consecutive game reaching the end zone for 86 in blue. Caden Prieskorn is a touchdown machine. And the last play of the first quarter, Andre, is the longest play of the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, the man put on 20 pounds of muscle during the offseason. Changed his body, breaks tackles. Nice little flip to his tight end. Prieskorn able to get in the end zone. Memphis up 14-0.
Just about a perfect start for Seth Henigan and the Memphis Tigers. And once again, this team, Andre, doing all the small things. Red zone production, forcing a turnover, and the lack of penalties called against the home squad so far. Business as usual.
Yeah, plus 10 in turnover margin. Going to win you a lot of football games. And you see the penalty yards as well. That's in favor of Memphis at this point in the game. Who's got to get things turned around and turned around in a hurry.
Peyton Sawyer from the 5 has an alley. He'll hit it, makes a man miss, and a penalty marker at the 32.
Going to return. Holding. Number 52 of the receiving team. 10 yards from spotted foul. First down, Houston.
You talk about the little things. Everybody's jumping in the pool for Memphis. 6 different receivers have caught a ball. 5 different rushers have run it.
Don't forget, coming up this week, Sunday NFL Countdown. NFL's most dominant defenders square off. We go all access with Micah Parsons, Aaron Donald, plus Randy Moss, ranking the best catches from today's college football action. Kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And the Monday Night Countdown crew gets you set for Raiders Chiefs, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, both on ESPN, also on the app. Stacy Sneed, the running back, redshirt freshman out of Arlington, Texas. Tank Dell gets a touch, his first one of the night, shoved out short of the 25.
Just trying to get the ball in the hands of Tank Dell.
You know, last time out, you saw Quindell Johnson with the pick. He's all over the field, always where the ball is. And Matt Barnes, the defensive coordinator, said he's the elite human being. He'll be playing in the NFL for a long time, then maybe a CEO, maybe even the president. And on the sideline, I'll tell you, he's one of those guys that has an unbelievable smile.
Came in leading this team in tackles as a safety.
3 picks on the season. Play action for 2. He'll extend the play as long as he can. Sail that pass out of bounds. It was interesting too, Clark, because Matt Barnes asked us the question, what's special about Quindell Johnson? And he answered it quickly with the word everything.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
3rd down and 7. Johnson steps off for a minute.
Yeah, he didn't look healthy that last play. And if I'm Houston, I may start to target who came in the game for him, or when he comes back onto the field.
Cam Smith checks in for Quindell Johnson at that safety spot. Tigers show pressure. Dell in motion, 3rd down and 7. And Toon rockets a pass that is caught at the 36, an 11-yard pickup and a first down. Samuel Brown made the grab.
We're waiting on Samuel Brown to emerge. This coaching staff told us this week. A nice block by Kellen Walker to pick up the blitzer for Clayton Tune. Gives him enough time to deliver into one of those small windows that you described early in the game.
Cougs coming off, walk-off overtime setback to Tulane last week at home. That game also on a Friday night. Fake it to Snead. Clean pocket. And now it breaks down, and Tune's going to be sacked.
Tune's got to step up. He goes outside and right into the arms of Hamilton, the defensive end. If he steps up, it's still clean.
Monte Hamilton.
Watch the work in front of him. Step straight up, step straight into the pocket, and then you can throw on the run or just tuck it and run. When you go outside, you're going right into the unknown where Hamilton lives.
Hamilton, the transfer from Ohio State. Memphis native, now a redshirt sophomore. Loss of 9. Set up the screen. And rumbling ahead towards the 40. They'll get most of that yardage back. Is Trahan, his second catch.
That's an excellent play call. Wanting to be a little aggressive with second and really long. Memphis got caught in their aggression. The best way to do it is with either a draw play or a screen pass. Nobody's
14.
expecting the tight end in that instance to catch the screen pass.
Dropped that pass last week. Different story so far tonight. 3rd down and 5. In time for 2. And zips it incomplete, looking for Matthew Golden. Hastings in coverage. He was all over him.
I think he had Dell early in this route with zone coverage. Just hit Dell underneath. He's kind of working underneath right now. At the first down marker, he's going to get tackled, but he's going to have the first down. The longer it goes, you give the back end time to get involved in the play.
Memphis defense lights out. Clayton Tune clearly frustrated. You heard Clark talk about that. His conversation with the veteran quarterback earlier this week. And I think Clayton Tune wanted to go for it on 4th and 5. Eddie Lewis will watch that one bounce into the end zone. Tigers get it back. This rivalry perhaps coming to an end after this season. Home team out in front and impressive.
Playoff baseball, man. There's nothing like it.
8 teams, 4 series, best of 3. The Wild Card Series continues tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2.
It just feels different when postseason baseball arrives here in the month of October. Mariners got it done earlier today in Toronto. All the Game 2s coming up tomorrow on ESPN Network. Should be an incredible atmosphere once again. Tigers get it back. Hennigan play action. Another first down. A big gainer to the 40 for Gabe Rogers.
Rogers, they talked about wanting to get both he and Prescorn involved in this game early. Well, Rogers has been a big-time factor. Prescorn has already gotten the end zone, and Rogers seems to be picking it up again, carrying the torch for this offense.
And Tim Cramsey, the offensive coordinator, told us he's got to have a big game. So far, he's delivered. This time, a sack at the 37 by Jamari Caldwell.
Nice job by the Cougars to flush out Seth Hennigan and get him on the ground. Nunnery there helping out one of the linebackers, versatile guy that moved to linebacker. He was a safety at one point in his career.
You were a safety at one point, were you not?
Way back in high school, about the first 3 games. A couple of schools wanted to make me a safety.
That's unbelievable.
After high school.
How'd that turn out? Second down. Hennigan's going to take a shot. And it is incomplete. Coverage along the far side provided by Alex Hogan.
Hogan was a former.
Here we go. Here we go. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback in the booth tonight. Unbelievably, teams in the Power 5 wanted him as a defensive player at several points in his recruitment.
Try to make them all pay, too.
That still lives with you today, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. You find something that helps motivate you, whether it's through workouts or on the field, and you use it as a chip. And as much as I possibly could, I did.
3rd down and a sack as Hennigan goes down near the 30.
Nelson Caesar, 6'3", 245-pound defensive end, able to get home against Seth Hennigan.
They wanted you to be a safety, but you also got recruited to Houston to be an option quarterback. A zillion yards later, a Heisman Trophy. You're still grinding, Andre. We love you, but you didn't show up to your morning workout today.
He didn't pay rent.
I knew at some point it was coming tonight.
Cougs get a critical stop, but a penalty marker back where Doyle punted that one away. And Joe Doyle, the second leading punter in the country, got that one away for 39 yards. Ja'Cory Morgan tapped him. The question is it running into the kicker or roughing?
I think it's going to be the lesser of the two. which would give Houston still will have the ball.
Running the kicker. Defense. Penalty is declined. Results in a first down for Memphis.
Cougs get it back when we come back. 5 minutes into our second quarter. Tigers lead it.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks, is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Order a grilled spicy deluxe sandwich today. Available for a limited time.
Well, from the Heisman Trophy winner through David Klingler, the monster numbers, Kevin Kopp, Case Keenum. And boy, look at the production, Mr. Andre Ware.
It's a pretty good ones go wear the uniform. Way before I started playing there, the Danny Davises, Gerald Landry's. Some good quarterbacks at the University of Houston. Terry Elston chased all his weight room records when I got to Houston.
Now you don't hear a lot about that. I'm curious.
I got just about all of them. It took a minute, but I got there.
Another good one on the field tonight, Clayton too. Offense has to find its rhythm to get back in this one. And a deep handoff goes to Campbell. Jalen Allen was waiting. That's a loss of a yard.
He's having a tough time getting his running game started. It all starts with the guys up front. Jack Freeman, Cameron Johnson, Patrick Paul, Tyler Johnson, and Lance Robinson. Getting pretty good play from the right side of the offensive line. The left side's got to step up.
Number 10 to play in the first half. Second down and long. Tune heaves it, pass caught. And diving forward, close to a first down, about a yard short, is Sam Brown.
Yeah, I don't know if Clayton Tune knows if Quindell Johnson is out. Last time they were on the field, he got nicked up. It's his left hip area. Trainers put an extra pad on that spot. He's been running around. He's been on the bike, but he has not re-entered the game. He's the player for Memphis with the most upside in terms of the NFL draft. He'll be playing in that league for a long time, and an absolute ball hawk.
Who was a ball hawk was Calvin Austin during his time here in Memphis.
Third down and 1. Gibbs straight ahead. That's a first down for Campbell and a lot more. Keeps the play alive, and there he goes. Campbell shoved out of the 25. It's a gain of 34 on third down.
Well, they crowd the line of scrimmage, and Campbell's able to find just enough of a soft spot along that right side. And then he's out the door. A couple of missed tackles, and he's going to make a pay with a big play. Cougs inching so close to scoring position.
Longest play of the night for Houston. Campbell again off the left side. Tumbles across the 20. And on first down, that's a gain of 6.
And this may be an area where they can lean on a little bit, finding the soft spots between the tackles here with Brendan Campbell.
Campbell, redshirt freshman out of Houston. Originally signed with USC. Quick toss, that's a first down. As Tank Dell grabs it and stopped at the 11.
Right. He's got a lot of defensive backs. They get a little fear in him when Tank's got the ball in his hands because he's so dynamic after the catch. Runs great routes, not the biggest guy at 5'10", and probably goes every bit of 165 pounds, but he can make guys miss, and when he does, forget about catching.
Cougs into the red zone, 1st and 10. You can't get a first down inside the 2 if you're Clayton too.
Man across the board here.
And Campbell probing. Gain of 4.
The Cougars are trying desperately to get into the end zone to make this a one-score game. And if you're Memphis, you're hoping just to hold to a field goal here. Take the bend but don't break approach and just allow an attempt for 3 points.
Officially a gain of 3 to stop his progress near the 8. Now a timeout called by Dana Holgorsen.
I mean, this is where they can get Trahan involved as well. He's a good receiving tight end and a good red zone threat.
Massive target, timeout on the field. Second down coming up for the Cougs when we come back. Now the Cotton Bowl, the place to be tomorrow afternoon at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, ABC, and also the ESPN app. The Red River Showdown, OU and UT, Texas and Oklahoma, both teams at 3-2.
Man, that's a good one. Texas getting their quarterback back. OU, will Dylan Gabriel play? How many roll with Texas in that one?
Should be interesting, highly competitive series until the last 11 years where OU has been dominant. Brent Venables, of course, a first-year head coach. Steve Sarkisian in Austin now in year number 2. Everybody wants to win that one. Cougs want to come back here on the road. 2nd and 7. Empty backfield for Clayton Tune. Looking end zone and incomplete. Pass sailed high for Keyshawn Carter.
I want to see that head moving from Clayton Tune, from one receiver to the other, and get through progressions as opposed to just anticipating one guy getting open and staying there. Go ahead and read that thing out, and if a guy's open, stick it on him.
U of H, 4 of 7 on 3rd down tonight.
I was going to say they're keeping 2 linebackers in. It had the look of quarterback draw all the way.
Dell motions out. Tune's going to take off. Clayton Tune up the middle, stop short. Now he can't get a first down.
I think he may have the first down. And when they snuck another linebacker, and I'm like, nope, can't do it. And then all of a sudden, Dell motions across. It takes the linebacker out of the box. It's 5-on-5, and a mobile quarterback like Tune able to get there with a quarterback draw. It's going to be just shy. Should go back to Campbell here, or maybe even quarterback sneak, get behind big Jack Freeman, who's playing the best up front at center for the Cougars.
3 tight ends on the field. Brandon Campbell, the running back.
And they got a hold over the right guard.
Can still pick up the first down. Campbell probing again over the right side. Driven backwards, and let's see where the forward progress is marked in the initial indication. That should be enough for 1st and goal.
Yeah, worst case, they're going to have the first down. They kept him out of the end zone, but Campbell is going to have the first down. So a new set of downs for the Cougars right here. Well, they've got a hole right over the right guard where they just could have run quarterback sneak, or Campbell's trying to get there.
First down and goal. And straight ahead to a mass of humanity. No indication yet.
To me, like,
touchdown.
Tune got in. He did. Once they unraveled everybody, he's in.
Trahan gave him a little shove at that last second, Trey. I think that got him across.
You know what I like about this play? It's going to seem very elementary to a lot of college football fans, that they can still go under center as opposed to taking that snap from the shotgun, allowing for penetration. That's old school, but it still works. If you're going to run quarterback sneak, that's the way you do it. Under center, get behind your best offensive lineman or the guy that's playing the best in Jack Freeman, and get some push up front.
50 yards on the ground on that drive for Houston, and Ryan Silverfield's team now watching that lead sliced in half. If Bubba Baxa can connect here. And he does. Our new score, 6:02 remaining in the first half. Clayton Tune found the end zone. Well, once again this season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Here inside Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, Memphis, Tennessee. Beautiful night for college football. Kickstarting your week number 6 and number 3 for the Cougs, reaching the end zone moments ago. Sliced that Memphis lead in half at 14-7. Andre Ware, Roy Philpott, Paul Carcaterra. Great rivalry between these 2 programs over the years. A lot of close games, impactful matchups. as that one sails 10 yards deep. Don't forget our Week 5 Monday Night Football matchup. Head out west to the AFC West, a rivalry game between the Raiders and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, KC now 3-1. Headed your way 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes. Also, the ESPN app coverage starts, of course. Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern. Mahomes the MVP. I mean, let's not debate that for another moment. He has been incredible. The numbers backed it up. When you watch him play, he has so much fun. It comes across in every pass.
Not a one-trick pony, is he?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't take just one guy. He can spread it around as well as any, and tied for first in the NFL with 11 touchdown passes already.
Asa Martin, the running back, the transfer from Miami. Pistol look, play action, and incomplete. Now Skates was the intended receiver. Joe Skates across the middle.
He's their deep ball receiver. They love trying to get him the ball down the field. Between he and Rodgers, Coach Silverfield said it'd be one heck of a race. For about 40 yards, Rodgers may get him. If you go the full 100, maybe Skates.
Second down and 10. Tigers scoring all 14 points in the first quarter. They had only 23 all season in the first 15 minutes of games before tonight. Time for Hennigan across the middle, nobody home.
Yeah, Prieskorn hooked up, and he was expecting him to come into the second window behind the linebackers, and he just stopped, and anticipating the ball would be thrown there. Just a bit of a miscommunication between quarterback and tight end.
Big play now for the Cougs defense, trying to get it back to Clayton Tune. Third down and 10. Hennigan awaiting the play call.
Try to get some pressure with 4 up front.
Listen, Caesar standing up, now drifts back. Little pass caught, and that is a chain mover once again. Eddie Lewis on 3rd and 10. How about a gain of 15?
Well, that's a heck of a block or blitz pickup. They decided to go ahead and bring it. They were going to drop into coverage, and that's against the best cover man in the secondary, Art Green, but it was Asa Martin who throws the block to give Seth Hennigan time to get the ball out. We've got a Cougar that's down.
Memphis now 4 of 5 on 3rd down tonight after that last conversion. Jermichael Neal appears to be the injured Houston player. Senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Myers Park High School.
He is an explosive inside pass rusher that they really like, which is why he's on the field in that situation. Hopefully he's able to get up.
.43 remaining in the first half. And Neal to his feet. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, Seth Hennigan fires a strike to keep the drive alive. The 15-yard pickup to Eddie Lewis.
Credit Asa Martin for that block that he threw to give him some time. Then all of a sudden what looked to be zone turned into essentially 2-man with some pressure coming at the line of scrimmage, and he stepped up and threw a dart.
Martin stays on the field. Snap from the 40. He'll get the handoff. Asa Martin. Plenty of real estate in front of him. And finally tripped up at the 24. Antonio Brooks prevented the touchdown, but a gain of 37.
Well, if not for Brooks, Asa Martin's dancing in the end zone. That's right up the gut, where Memphis has continued to thrive in their running game. Big run by Martin.
Martin stays on the field. Hennigan pulls it out, slides in, crossing the 20. Gain of 5 yards.
And last year, Caesar would have made that tackle. But the added weight room and the diet of Seth Hennigan, we keep talking about it, but it's on full display because of the broken tackles over and over that he's able to come out of arm tackles, where last year just a thin dude that would have gone down. No longer is he that way.
2nd and 5. Martin will try to pop it outside, and he cannot corral sandwiched between two defenders for a loss of 4.
That's excellent penetration up front by Houston's defense.
Marcus Cheeks.
Yeah, that's how you stop the run. You get penetration and reroute the running back.
Jamal Morris combined to make the stop. 5th time tonight. Cougs defense has recorded the tackle for loss. Pre-score in the tight end already with a touchdown tonight, his 6th of the season. Red zone target once again on 3rd and 9. Instead, the screen to Lewis. Sidesteps a defender. Owens finally brought him down. Short of the line to gain 4-yard pickup. And the field goal unit coming on for Memphis.
Chris Howard, this is well within his range. We talked about they're confident in him from 45 and in. And he can go a little deeper than that if need be.
36-yard attempt, perfect this season, 7 for 7. Could have a 47-yarder against Arkansas State. From the right hash, sends it up and through. 3 scores and 4 drives for the Tigers. Don't forget tomorrow afternoon, meeting number 118, the Red River Showdown matchup, Texas and Oklahoma, live from the Cotton Bowl. Noon Eastern, 11 Central, pair 3 and 2 squads. Quinn Ewers back, the big news for Texas. Year number 1 for Brent Venables in Norman. A lot of people wondering what would that look like. A great start. Last 2 games, it's been a different story. And Bijan Robinson had the fumble in overtime against Texas Tech, but you know what he can do overall.
Yeah, he is a talent. A lot of people feel like he's going to be one of the top backs drafted in this year's coming draft. He's got it all. Power, speed, got hands. And most importantly, he can protect the quarterback.
I was getting ready to ask you that question. You read my mind because you always love and you signal out the running backs that can handle themselves in pass pro.
That's how you get on the field fast as a youngster. You want to impress your coaches as a young player in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, whatever it is, whatever age you're playing. Learn the protections and learn how to protect the quarterback. They know you can run. They know you can catch. Can you block? And a lot of guys can block, but it's knowing where to block on certain plays.
Tigers lead it by 10. Cougars will get it back. And that Texas-Oklahoma matchup, just one of numerous intriguing games tomorrow. Peyton Sawyer from inside the 5. Tripped up at the 20 as we check in for the first time with Matt Berry.
Gentlemen, good evening. Coming up on the Sling TV halftime report, you were talking about the Big 12 right now. That is Kansas, everybody looking up at. That's a big one against TCU. Can they keep the magic going? Plus, Nebraska continuing to struggle. Highlights of their game tonight against Rutgers. You know them, you love them, and maybe you hate them this season. Virtual locks, Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway. Coming up in just a minute on the Sling TV halftime report.
Matt Berry, thank you very much.
We were talking about Kansas at breakfast this morning.
I mean, they beat Houston earlier this season. Lance Leipold, this guy can do no wrong.
He can coach some football, can he? He can coach them up.
Jalen Daniels also can do no wrong at that quarterback spot. He has been so impressive. All started last year in that comeback win in Austin, Texas against the Horns. First down toss to the tight end, Trahan. And he races out short of the 30.
Lance Leipold is just a straight-up winner. Wisconsin Whitewater, multiple national championships. Then he goes to the MAC in Buffalo, wins a ton of games there. And now at Kansas, you know, the recipe for his teams, they don't get penalized much. They do all the little things you guys were talking about in that Memphis graphic.
Yeah, similar approach. Ryan Silverfield, deep ball, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Tank Dell. That was close.
Even with his Jets, he couldn't go get it, but boy, did he make it an exciting play. He steps on the gas, and the ball's in the air after the hitch and go. And boy, he just separates. Whenever you get a defensive back in that position where the strides get longer, all of a sudden his torso's over his feet, and you know, he's struggling a little bit. You know the guy that he's trying to catch has got a pretty good motor.
Tiger fans standing up. That was Rubin in coverage, 50 yards down the field. 3rd and 3. Pressured. Escapes and batted away at the last minute. Boy, for a moment, Peyton Sawyer was open. Oliver got a couple of fingertips on it, and that was enough.
Well, what a heck of a play in the secondary by Memphis. And Clayton Tune showing you a little bit of strength himself as he escapes the mitts of Jalen Allen. Well, that's a heck of a play on the back end. I think it's Oliver.
Boy, Sawyer was ready to turn around and race into plus territory.
It was going to be a foot race, and now Memphis with 2:32 left here, they've got a chance to add to the score and get the ball first out of the second half.
Lewis steps away from the punt. Tigers get it back at their 33. And now a quick word from Dr. Pepper.
It's time to make your college dreams a reality with a Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway. Visit drpeppertuition.com to learn how to enter for a chance to compete for $100,000 in tuition.
No time to work with for the Tigers. 2:21 to go.
We saw their ability to go tempo earlier in this game, and so they're not afraid with Seth Hennigan. As smart as he is, he takes care of the football. He's only thrown one interception the entire season, so they're comfortable putting this situation, the 2-minute drill, in his hands and letting him operate.
Well, it's interesting talking to this coaching staff this week and conversation how Hennigan doesn't like to show a ton of emotion. Started to do more of that in the win over Temple. Rush yardage help provided. Dump off is there, and out of bounds goes Ducker after a gain of just a couple.
You don't have to spend a timeout. They've got all three. Plenty of time. It's an eternity with 2:16 and 3 timeouts.
Is it possible to play quarterback without being emotional? I mean, it seems like that.
You try to play that way because you don't want to get overly high when you throw a touchdown pass, and certainly you don't want to get down on yourself when you make a mistake and throw an interception.
Hennigan play action. Has a man, drops it right in the bucket, and it is incomplete. It popped out. Eddie Lewis.
Eddie Lewis. Pretty sure-handed receiver, and he's about disgusted as you can, but they are targeting Art Green. I think they realize he's back from an injury, maybe not quite 100%, but he's had a few balls thrown in his direction tonight.
And Lewis knows he should have brought that one in.
Just right through his hands. Once he hustled back to the huddle, hey, catch the ball.
Well, I feel your anger there for a moment.
Catch the ball. Back here fighting my rear off and just dropping it.
3rd down and 8. Tigers 4 of 6 on 3rd down. And that one nearly intercepted. That could have been 6 points on the board.
Now the Cougs with 2 timeouts and 1:48 going to force a punt here.
Donovan Mutin, the linebacker.
And he's going to kick himself because this should have been Seth Hennigan's 2nd interception of the season. Mutin with, I mean, a golden opportunity right there. Looked like a linebacker trying to catch a pass in that situation.
Well, Mutin, you mentioned it. He's now back, and he was one of the players this week that challenged not only the team but himself. 3-time team captain, so certainly you know the leadership component is there. But if Houston's going to turn the season around, number 3, red and white tonight, is going to be a big reason why.
You know, he mentioned to me this week, adversity is right in our face. It's not going anywhere. And if you have at least 1% impact on this game, don't complain about it. Make something happen. He knows about real life adversity too. When he was 5, his family had 10 feet of water in their home in New Orleans, and Hurricane Katrina, they lost everything. Later they left for Houston to rebuild their lives. When you talk to him, he speaks with 100% conviction.
Mutin, one of the reasons Cougs force a 3 and out. Only took 33 seconds off the clock. They'll get it back after Dell calls for the fair catch at the 26.
He's a heck of a player, a heck of a leader, the captain on this team, 3-time captain on this team. And a lot of guys in the program respect him, and they come to play with him and for him.
Give you another game tomorrow. LSU Tennessee down in Death Valley. That's a game that's got a ton of intrigue.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker on the road. He's being talked about as a Heisman potential quarterback. And
LSU seems to have righted their ship a little bit.
Yeah.
Playing with some confidence right now. That'll be a good one.
Sure, the guys will be talking about that matchup at halftime, coming up just moments from now. Cougars with 2 timeouts left. They'll get it back, trailing by 10. Toon wanted to heave one deep, instead goes underneath to Dell, who spins out of bounds.
Dell can find the soft spots in zone coverage as good as any receiver that we've seen this year. And he can certainly stretch the field and get behind coverage. But right now, Memphis is going to force the Cougs to take things underneath.
Tank Dell targeted 6 times so far, 3 receptions. For gain of 7. Toon will post corner, incomplete.
Got to take what's there. He had the back out of the backfield along the sideline, sitting down wide open because coverage is dropping deep. That's the tough throw. The easy throw is to take the 6-yard sit down and pick up the first down, allow the back to get out of bounds.
So they've moved Dell around a good bit so far. 3rd and 3, 90 seconds remaining. Pressure off the edge. Toon escapes for the moment. Right at the line to gain, and I think that's enough. It should be enough to Tank Dell.
Yeah, boundary corner blitz from the boundary side. It's Oliver, and just, and you talk about a game of inches, that's barely getting it off.
Only need 1 foot in bounds in college, and we've seen Oliver and Rubin come off the edge that corner blitz tonight. Drive continues. Houston still with the 2 timeouts. Run it with Campbell. And stop behind the line.
Trying to surprise Memphis, and they have a face mask here.
Ducksworth and Jackson had him right there at the line of scrimmage, and I think you're right. Boy, Campbell didn't like that whatsoever.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 10. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Cameron Jackson, defensive tackle, all 6'6", 340 pounds of him. A little extra after the play. Will give Houston some additional yardage here.
First penalty of the night, too, against the Tigers.
Trying to strip the ball out, and then he just tosses it.
Keelan Walker, the running back. First down from midfield. Again, pressure. Penalty markers on the field. Pass will be caught by Dell into the red zone. We'll check the infractions.
This is a comeback. This is a hold.
That would have been a gain of 30.
It's going to be against Cameron Johnson, the left guard.
There were 2 fouls on the play, both committed by the offense. Holding, offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. Holding, offense, number 54. Penalties decline. Still first down.
Instead of 1st and 10 at the 20, they'll move the football back all the way to the Houston 40. Johnson and Lance Robinson.
Self-inflicted stuff. You're going to move the ball with consistency. It's just got to stop. I mean, you're about to get Tank Dell involved and get him revved up and going, and then how discouraging is that when you look back and there's laundry on the ground?
5th penalty accepted by Memphis against Houston. 1st and 20. They'll set up the screen. And Walker stopped short of the original line. He'll lose another yard. Brockington with the TFL, and a timeout called by Dana Holgorsen.
Zay Collins read that out all the way. He was there to make a stop or help him in bringing him down as well. Didn't really fool Memphis. They tried to fool him with a draw play a couple plays ago. That didn't go well. And then there with the screen pass, the linebackers were all over it.
How do you fix that? The penalties, the mistakes.
That's just discipline. That is got to be coached in practice. The hardest situations you can put the offensive line in to stop them from holding and reaching. pre-snap penalties, that's just discipline. Knowing the snap count, and wanting to get off on the snap count and not before it.
Cougs now with 1 timeout remaining after that stoppage, less than a minute to go.
How many penalties did Joey say in this game? 11, I think he said, before the game started. He's sounded like a genius right about now with a half to play.
Second and 21. Tune under duress. Got it away to Golden.
Nice
Check
throw.
that Brown.
Nice throw and catch. And Samuel Brown is a guy that they've been waiting on. He and Matthew Golden, young receivers, one a true freshman, one a red shirt. Just waiting on them to step up.
Gain of 19.
Take the next step, young man.
Clock moves under 30 seconds in the first half. Out in the flats. Chain mover. Keyshawn Carter, number 8 in red and white. The gain of 6 on 3rd and 3.
Big expectations for him when he transferred in from Texas Tech. They're also waiting on him to make a big jump. Nice job by Tune. A nice decisive read, and the ball's out on time. That gives a guy like Carter a chance to get some additional yards after the catch.
Cougs still with the 1 timeout. Bubba Baxa, longest field goal this season, 37 yards. And Tune across the middle, has Golden. That's a first down and a lot more. It'll be 1st and goal for Houston.
I'm telling you, that young
They'll mark
man,
it at the 11, actually.
that young man's going to be special. He's the next great one.
25-yard pickup. And a quick clock. Make it 2nd and 10. They'll preserve the timeout. Well, we were told this week that Matthew Golden needed to step up. Good week of practice. Needs to grow up a little bit. We're seeing that.
Yeah, 2 high safeties. The in route, once you occupy the safety, you put it right in the window. And it's exactly what Clayton Tune did. And to his credit, Matthew Golden rewards him. Just after he clears the safety to that side, ball's in the air, and he high points it.
12 seconds remaining. Cougs can get a first down inside the 2.
First charge, timeout of the half. Memphis, 30 seconds.
Memphis.
Going to take a timeout.
Oh, Matt Barnes, Ryan Silverfield trying to get their defense settled on the Tigers sideline. Critical moment here. Touchdown, obviously. 3-point game going into halftime. Field goal. Memphis has a 7-point advantage. If you're Dana Holgorsen, what are you thinking at this point?
Well, maybe Christian Trahan, the tight end. Certainly, I think everybody in the building. I believe Dell will have double coverage, so they'll be discouraged to go. They're trying to discourage Tune to go to him, and they'll show it early that somebody's over the top, someone's underneath. So that's going to free it up for someone else. Maybe Golden comes away with a touchdown reception here. They've got 2 on the season. But with that timeout available to play anywhere on the field is a spot that Clayton Tune can go to.
Dell, a weapon in the slot.
You see the safety over the top and the coverage underneath Dell.
Big moment at the end of the half. Tune, Trahan, stopped inside the 5. Davion Ross, a critical tackle and a timeout called by the Cougars.
Get the big fella with the big frame to break a tackle and get himself into the end zone. They go right away to Trahan, and that's a heck of a stop by Davion Ross. Spot Trahan a few LBs there, right?
That's 175 versus 250. Ross did all he could, and
Just
he did
wrap
well.
up and hold on, baby.
All right, 5 seconds left here. Houston out of timeouts. How aggressive can you be? Are you thinking field goal?
It's got to come out quickly. I'm being aggressive. I'm trying to find a matchup based on the formation that gives me a quick throw.
So no field goal.
Well, with it being 3rd down, you just You take your risk with a quick throw and then you come back and kick the field, but they're gonna kick it now. I probably would have tried to run one play.
Clayton Tune on the sideline. Bubba Baxa checks in.
Especially with an experienced quarterback like Clayton Tune in a timeout situation. Ball catch, throw right away. If it's incomplete, it's incomplete. Then we'll come back and kick the field goal.
Baxa 9 of 12 on the year. Transfer from Miami. Just inside the right hash. And the chip shot on the way. No good. He pulled it left.
And left a second on the clock. And that's why I say it's not like you're in midfield or the 20-yard line where you have to let routes develop. You're inside the 5, so go ahead and run an offensive play, and it's quick. It's either put your largest receiver on the outside, throw him a fade stop or a fade. If it's incomplete, come back and kick the field goal with 1 second left. And you tell Tune, don't hold on to the ball, get it out quickly. Boy, that's discouraging there for the Cougs sideline.
Dana Holgorsen couldn't believe it. And, you know, he told us this week, I asked him, Coach, what do you tell the guys after these close losses, the overtimes? And he said, you know what, you run out of things to say. And after that sequence, you can understand his pain.
Should be a routine snap, hold, and a kick through.
Great start for the home team. Memphis leads Houston 17-7. Halftime report headed your way right now as we send you to Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, and Jesse Palmer.
Right, Philpott, thank you.
Back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. A beautiful look down Beale Street. And, of course, you are watching the American Conference on ESPN. Beautiful night for college football. Memphis set to receive our second half kickoff out in front of the visitors from H-Town by a score of 17-7. Andre Ware, Roy Philpott, Paul Carcaterra here inside Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Good start for the home team, trying to win its 5th game in a row. Gabe Rogers back deep to receive. His kick from the Cougs. And 7 yards deep. Tigers will get it there. So great to have you with us tonight. Interesting start in this one, 30 minutes in the books, and we will see what happens here in our second half. Critical second half for Houston to try to get back in this conference race.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you talk about what they're doing defensively, offensively. Really hadn't been the problem. They moved the football. They've just got to quit shooting themselves in the foot or committing penalties, especially the pre-snap penalty.
Yeah, the missed field goal and the interception thrown by Clayton Tune, obviously the big story so far. They outgained Memphis in that first half, but still trailed by 10.
Yeah, it hadn't been the story, you know, the problem all season long. They can score, they can rush the football, they can throw it. They've just got to stop with the penalties.
Impressive start for Seth Hennigan. True sophomore out of Denton, Texas. Backside pressure, he gets rid of it to Rogers. Races behind the line and then upfield. Quality pickup on a play that looked dangerous for a moment, Paul.
Yeah, Dana Holgorsen told me he thought about having a scenario where he went for 2 plays with 5 seconds left. Ultimately, he said he went for the field goal because he wanted the points. Missed field goal. He also told me they've been down 14 points in 6 consecutive games, and the penalties, once again, are absolutely crushing this team, not allowing it to get them into a flow offensively. But he does feel like there's some big shot opportunities with Tank Dell downfield from Clayton Tune, and you saw some of those attempts, some drops in that late second quarter.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
Yeah, you go back to the one big completion inside the red zone that was negated due to 2 holding calls on the offensive line.
Well, I think you do it, but you methodically get to it, where you don't open up trying to target Tank Dell. It's other stuff underneath, and if he's involved in that, so be it. And then once you get the defense to start to step up, that's when the shots will present themselves.
5-yard infraction makes it 2nd down and 8 after the catch by Rogers. Hennigan off play action. Somehow the pass is caught. That'll move the chain. Skates has it into Houston territory. Ball comes out late, and let's see.
I think Houston has the ball here. Skates put it on the ground, and they were unable to come up with it. A big turnover by the Cougars.
On the field. It's a fumble recovered by Houston.
A heck of
First
a way
down,
to
Houston.
start the second half. A big play by Joseph Skates. And a nice tackle. A rake away by Owens, the safety. They are happy to have him back this week.
Talking with Doug Belk 2 days ago, he mentioned our green returns. Javarius Owens is back, first turnover of the night for Memphis. Not only does he poke the football away, he recovers the fumble.
Well, I take back whatever I just said because I'm going to take Dell deep right here. Sudden change at the field position they have. Let's dial one up.
Just the 4th Memphis turnover all season. How about a shot? You called for it. Toon is going to try to deliver. Trahan has it inside the 20. And the big tight end rumbles for 37.
Dell takes a couple of defenders to the middle of the field on a deep post. They leap the tight end out and down the sideline. After all the ball handling that went into that, and the offensive line, credit them for giving Toon the time necessary to locate Trahan down the field.
Longest play of the night for the Cougars. Toon back to the air. And inside the 15, Oliver makes the stop on Dell, gain of 5.
Excellent play call by Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach.
Is he still calling plays?
I think he is.
Conversation this week, would Coach Holgorsen get more involved?
Big conversation, but he seemed to, have a lot of faith in Shannon Dawson as a play caller.
Toon again, far side grab, and it'll be first down and goal. Matthew Golden.
Where the speed, it's feared. When you have a guy like Golden, the youngster, and then Tank Dell on his junior year on the outside. Corners are playing off. That gives you a lot of space as a quarterback to throw to him.
After the missed field goal to end the first half, the Cougars right back down the field after the fumble recovery by Owens moments ago. Now first down and goal. Toon. Back corner, incomplete. Dell fell backwards and awkwardly.
Boy, he lost the defender to that side. Oliver inside takes a bite. That's wide open. That's wide open in high school. Pop Warner. Got to be able to hit that one.
Second and goal. Wonder if they'll try the running back Brandon Campbell a couple of times. The answer is yes. And straight ahead goes Campbell. Stopped inside the 1. Now Hamilton met him just in front of the goal line. He thinks he crossed the plane. Instead, it's third and goal.
If he was down or not down, he thought he was still up, which pops up and gets into the end zone. See if he indeed goes down, or if anything knee touches. Like briefly, and then he spun out and got in the end zone. Big play here for the Cougars.
A replay official tonight, Rick Jackson. They're going to have one more look at it. The original ruling, the ball carrier down. We do have our rules expert, Matt Austin, with us tonight in a critical situation coming up. Matt, obviously it's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. What did you see?
Yeah, Roy, it certainly does. I just don't think there's a good enough view here to see. You really have to be looking right down the line, and when you get the pylon cam view, there's just way too many bodies in the way. So I think this call's going to stand.
Bodies, the knee did indeed touch. From that last view we saw, Matt, and then that's when he's blown down. Whistle stops the play. This is a pretty good angle right here where you'll see the right knee go down.
Monte Hamilton, transfer from Ohio State, did all that he could to stop momentum.
It's just tough to see.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Third down.
Third and goal from inside the 1, and you have to think, Andre, potentially 4-down territory, right?
Yes, indeed, and I'm going right back to the previous score that the Cougs had, where they just quarterback sneak Clayton Toon into the end zone, go under center and get some push, and let the big guys like Jack Freeman work up front.
Well, it was 85 Trahan that shoved him across. after motioning inside. And he will again. Tune straight ahead, the same play call. I don't know. Stop short. Quindell Johnson leapt across the line of scrimmage. Back on the field and apparently healthy, and that's critical for the Tigers.
Right, it certainly adds some gray area to this play call by Shannon Dawson or Dana Holgorsen. Trying to push him in. It's exactly what I would have dialed up if I were the play caller.
4th down and goal. Biggest play of the night. Dell in motion, handoff to Campbell. And the initial call is just short of the goal line. And that's exactly where they mark him. Tyler Murray prevented the touchdown for the Cougars. What a stand by Memphis. Two straight drives inside the 5-yard line. No points for the Cougs. And the Memphis defense stands tall on 4th and goal. Well, the Cougars have lost 3 of their last 4. A big reason why. Mistakes like what we've seen tonight. A penalty on 3rd down and long keeps the drive alive. Interception by Clayton Tune. And the missed field goal at the end of the first half, Andre, and just too much to overcome.
Yeah, Lace is pointed right back at the kicker. That's never a good sign and caused him to pull it dead left.
Tigers take over after the 4th and goal stop inside the 1. Ducker stopped by Jones after a short gain of 1.
Don't be surprised with the experience of Seth Hennigan, even him being just a sophomore. They don't dial one up deep here. What's the worst thing that could happen? An incompleted pass, or maybe you get a pass interference call or a catch on the outside. So don't be surprised. Quick 3 and let one rip.
Yards deep. Roll out pass incomplete to Rock Taylor. 3rd down.
You got to hold on to it now. that's the message in the huddle. If you're throwing it, you got to hold on to it. Give us a little bit of breathing room, and then you can kind of go back into your offense. But right now, they've got to be protective of the football. And even if you throw it deep, you want to make sure that your receiver catches it or it's going out of bounds. Don't leave anything over the middle, especially late.
3rd down and 9. Memphis at 2-0 in the American. And in first place starting October in the conference. Wide open. Pass is caught. That's Taylor, and this time he corralled it.
That's exactly what I thought they would do. Exactly. Quick 3, experienced quarterback. Let it rip. He gets behind coverage. And I think once again it's Art Green not at 100%. And Memphis singling him out.
Gain of 26 on 3rd down and 8. Tigers off to their best start in 3 seasons. Playing like it tonight. This 10-point advantage. And the screen pass to Eddie Lewis goes nowhere.
Nice job by Jace Rogers again. Leading the play out, making a nice stop. He's been in on a couple of different situations tonight where he's made big plays and pretty good tackles.
And 4th stop for number 6. That's a TFL and a loss of 1. Tigers with wins over Navy, Arkansas State, North Texas, and Temple in their last 4 games. Schedule gets a little more difficult coming up. Road trips to East Carolina and Tulane. And if you've missed it, Tulane's playing some really good football. Upset win against Kansas State already. Hennigan floats one deep and incomplete. Penalty marker.
Illegal motion. Offense. Slot receiver is coming forward to the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
You know, gentlemen, I spoke to Ryan Silverfield at half. He felt like the intermediate passing game was open, but he's really going to challenge his offensive line. Keep in mind, too, he's the offensive line coach when Adrian Peterson ran for 2,000 yards in Minnesota. So that's his bread and butter. He knows they need to get the run game going to get that passing game to complement it. And when they go back on defense, don't be surprised if they have some safety help on Tank Dell.
Penalty was declined, still 3rd and 11. That last pass intended for Rodgers. Approaching 9 to go in the 3rd. Backside pressure. Hennigan releases. Another first down. Prescourt.
This kid just keeps on getting better. Prescourt, and a high school quarterback. He can run it once it's in his hands, and he's got great soft hands. A big target at about 6'5", 6'6". Make himself a prospect for the next level here pretty soon. He keeps playing like this.
2 consecutive 3rd down and long conversions. Prescourt goes for 15, and now Hennigan into Houston territory.
What's it been, 5 weeks in a row that Prescourt has caught a touchdown pass?
And Hennigan comes up, limping ever so slightly.
He spatted up already, and they're going to bring in Ryan Glover, who is the backup. Feel like they don't have to change a thing when he comes in. Extremely smart player.
Graduated from Penn and the Wharton School of Business, transferred to Western Carolina, now at Memphis. Provides a little dynamic, the run game straight ahead. Caesar the tackle after a 5-yard gain.
Hennigan's trying to get back in the game, and they're going to leave Ryan Glover in and get him a couple of snaps here.
Tim Krams, the offensive coordinator, said Ryan Glover as invested as any backup quarterback he's ever seen. Here's a reason why. Glover stumbles what could have been a touchdown, but it's a big gain for the Tigers into the red zone.
Well, you put in all the hours, all the hard work, and you just hope for an opportunity. And Ryan Glover comes in. They run 2 designed quarterback runs to take advantage of his athletic ability. Now, he can throw it around. We watched him in pregame. He can throw it around. The turf monster just got him there at the end.
Gain of 28. It could have been a lot more. I don't know if that's Sports Center not top 10 play at some point, but it's a big gainer. Seth Hennigan back on the field. Well, that was a quick burst and a spark for the Tigers offense. Straight ahead goes Ducker. Minimal gain. Michael Neal with a stop.
This is where you got to get stingy if you're the Cougars and hold it just a field goal attempt. And if you're Memphis, you're trying to punch one in here and really, really take a stranglehold on this game.
Second down and 9. Screen. Rodgers. Spun out near the 5 and close to a first down.
Gotta get big Austin Myers out of the way. Throw a block, big fella. Make up your mind. You gotta send him inside or outside so I know which way to maneuver. He's out there in space. You get him. John Jenkins used to describe them as cows on ice when an offensive lineman was out in space. They don't know what to do. They're just sliding, slipping and sliding everywhere.
First down and goal. Ducker's going to try to bounce it outside. He cannot. Stopped at the line by Owens.
He has been a welcomed addition to various Owens back this week after being injured.
Andre, how about this drive? Play number 13 coming up. It started way back inside the Memphis 5-yard line.
Well, the first drive of the game was a 14-play drive for 78 yards. They're going to punch this one in. It's a 99-yard drive.
Those 5.5 minutes off the clock. Hennigan tries to waggle away, and he cannot. He's going to be sacked at the 10 by Caesar.
Boy, that's a nice job by Caesar. He didn't get fooled with a play fake down inside, and Hennigan could not come out of the grasp of Nelson Caesar.
The coaching staff very, very high on that young man.
You mentioned the potential to stop this drive. The field goal attempt would be critical because it still remains a 2-score affair. Asa Martin down in at running back on 3rd and goal. Reverse it to Rodgers. He wants to throw it back corner. And incomplete.
That Prieskorn he's trying to throw to.
It was.
Well thrown ball as well. Either Prieskorn's going to catch it or nobody.
Tim Cramsey digging deep into his bag of tricks on 3rd and goal from the 10.
I bet Gabriel Rodgers has a little quarterback in his background.
Kind of look like it.
High school. You spin it like that. Yes, sir.
28-yard field goal attempt coming for Chris Howard. 1 for 1 tonight. 8 for 8 on the year. Rodgers from the right hash, able to sneak it through. 20-7. Less than 5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Memphis leading Houston here in the American.
It's time for the Friday night spotlight, and it's on Memphis backup quarterback Ryan Glover. His family started a foundation in 2013 called Kyle's World in memory of his brother Kyle, who passed away at the age of 11. Kyle's foundation offers opportunities and workshops to children ranging from ages 10 to 17, focusing on music, arts, and sports. And this past spring, Ryan traveled to Ghana and put on a football clinic. He told me there was around 100 kids there, and only a handful had ever seen football before, but they were so welcoming and open to learning. Ryan misses his brother Kyle dearly. Said Kyle was clever, he was candid, he was bold, he loved technology. One day would have been a big shot at a company like Google. Thinks about him 10 times a day and motivates him all the time on the football field. And how about Ryan in that last drive?
Big time. Money in that drive.
Glover, impressive. The Tigers are as well. Cougars will get it back when we return, and Ryan Glover came over to talk with us. Grab a picture with the great Paul Carcaterra pregame. Look at $1 million smiles. Now, don't forget, MLB Wildcard Weekend continues tomorrow. Chances are your favorite team is on the ESPN networks. Game 2 across the board, Mariners, Blue Jays, Padres, Mets. And then also the Red River Showdown tomorrow, noon, ABC. Monday Night Football weekend concludes. Chiefs, Raiders, AFC West rivalry matchup, which should be a ton of fun. Cougars get it back, trailing by 13. Toombs pass batted down with Andre Ware, Roy Philpott, Paul Carcaterra. Allen with the rejection. Carc, we mentioned Ryan Glover graduating from the Wharton School of Business. You're telling me that, yeah, you do that and you can kind of write your own ticket wherever you want to go.
100%. He has a job already in finance in New York City. Depending on who you talk to and what ranking, the Wharton School of Business in Penn is #1 in the world in that area of study.
2nd down, incomplete, off balance, looking for Matthew Golden, and Cullens kind of snuck in there, may have gotten a fingertip on it.
Well, he's playing a heck of a game. Zay Cullens, who is one of the leaders on this football team. He came in and trailed only Quindell Johnson by 1 tackle for the team's lead. He is, I mentioned earlier, football junkie, always in the right place at the right time.
3rd and 10. Time for 2. Incomplete, 3 and out, go the Cougars. Looking for Sam Brown, and the pressure coming, or the coverage rather, by Ross.
Maybe leaving the pocket a little bit too early. Just sit back there, relax. I think the offensive line has done a pretty good job. Just, there's time. There's time. Step up, still. You don't have to attack the line of scrimmage. Just step up and out and keep your eyes down the field. When you start moving, it throws everything completely off.
And when you say moving, in the eyes of Dana Holgorsen, out to the right as opposed to just up in the pocket.
Just up in the pocket.
Lewis back deep to receive. Fields it helmet high. Scampers out of bounds.
It's going to
Late
be another
flag
penalty.
comes in.
And this is a late hit out of bounds. It's going to give Memphis tremendous field position. And I think it's against Jace Rogers, who's played a solid game to this point.
Special teams tonight. Bit of an issue with
After
the missed
play was
field goal.
over, personal foul. Number 5 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down, Memphis.
And now the penalties, the third infraction against Houston special teams.
Yeah, it's Hassan Hoplite. He's going to get the ticket here. Just a little bit too much while you're out of bounds, and that official couldn't get his flag out of his belt buckle.
ABC, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central tomorrow. Also on the ESPN app, the Red River Showdown from the Cotton Bowl, Oklahoma and Texas. Pair of 3 and 2 squads. Second-year head coach Steve Sarkisian, first-year head man in Norman, Brent Venables. After a successful career calling plays in Clemson and formerly of the Sooners as well. Plenty of firepower. We will see what Quinn Ewers looks like coming back now that he's healthy for the Longhorns. Best starting field position of the night for Memphis. Pre-scored. Stopped after a 1-yard pickup. And that was Muton.
Excellent job by Muton. Get the bigger pre-score down on the turf.
How frustrating is it, Andre, if you're Houston? 2 trips inside the 5-yard line, no points. The game could feel a lot differently. Things had changed then, but the mistakes, the penalties we've talked about.
It's frustrating because you want to be rewarded as a defense when you get stops or you get a turnover, and you want to be rewarded. Last 2 drives, 18 plays, 125 yards, and no points, as you mentioned.
Credit the Tigers defense as well. Broken up, looking for Skates, and Art Green was up to the challenge.
That's another deep threat. We mentioned Rogers, Skates, they're 2 fastest receivers in their deep threat, and they've certainly tried to get them involved. And once again, targeting Art Green, the Cougs' best corner, or best cover man, but hasn't been healthy the last few weeks.
3rd down and 9. Number 4 to play in the third. Cougars showing pressure. We'll back out of it. Hennigan retreats. And it's going to be slung out of bounds. With a sack by DeAnthony Jones. And a loss of 7.
He is a solid pass rusher off the edge. And I say it's never a boring day at practice when he's on the field. Talks a lot, but he can back it up.
Started his career at Long Beach City College. And the Cougars defense has kept this team on the road in this game tonight under some tough circumstances. And Tank Dell from his own 10. Tripped up after losing a yard, a punt of 50. And the Cougars will take over deep in their own territory after the tackle by Joe Norwood. Well, Friday Night Phenoms, we have seen some spectacular individual performances this season. DTR last week was impressive. Who do you like?
Boy, I love the game that Johnny Wilson had because he just flipped it on its head and flat out took over. 7 receptions, 149 yards, but last week, Dorian Thompson-Robinson with that 368 total yards. Remember the eyes. You know, he was laser focused from the first snap until the end of the football game.
There's a lot of flexing going on in the Rose Bowl by the UCLA offense. They get Utah tomorrow in a very intriguing game out west. That'll be a home tilt again for the Bruins. Tank Dell's could probably need to be on that list for the Cougs to try to attempt a comeback. And Toon floats it.
Right on cue.
To the man.
Hey, Andre, who's the leader in the clubhouse? Come on, man, let's go.
You're talking about tonight?
Yeah. Who you hedging on?
Oh, boy. It's either Hennigan or Prescorn because of, their effect immediately on the game. That's where I'd go right now. Rogers is probably a close second to those 2. And we'll let it play out a little bit longer.
And I mean, Clark, Hennigan's numbers, 17 of 27, about 200 yards and a touchdown. No mistakes, and maybe that's the key in all of this. And batted down, incomplete by Collins.
Well, he's played some game. You're going defense. I don't know that a guy's had a better game than Zay Collins. He has been in on just about everything. I think that's like his third pass deflection in the ball game. Had one earlier in the first half and a couple here in the second half.
Well, Matt Barnes indicating that Zay Collins, just a film junkie, a football junkie. He's watching what opposing teams are doing all the time, can't get enough of it. Now fifth-year senior.
It gives you a heads up based on formations.
Time for Tune. This time he'll step up. And looking for Dell at midfield. It's out of bounds.
Zay Collins told me he learned how to lead from his mother, Denise. She was a basketball player growing up. She had to put her hoop dreams aside to raise the children. And Zay wants a legacy to be one in which others come first and understand everyone in life, whether you're an athlete or not, is going through something. And when you walk by someone, he said, just ask them how they're doing, man. It's not hard.
Andre, how you doing?
Doing well. How about you?
Not too bad. Fun game tonight. It's been fun all year on Fridays. Glad you're doing well. 3rd and 10. Tune. Was it picked off? Incomplete. At the 30, the ball came out. The pressure coming in from Hamilton.
Let's take a look at this, because it almost looks like Hamilton
hit his arm.
Yeah, well, he's got his arm hit. But then I'm not sure that Ruben didn't figure out a way. Can't really tell from that look, but it looked as though he may have flipped this thing. That is no, definitely incomplete. He made it look like it.
5th punt of the evening for Lane Wilkins. Lewis back deep to receive. Tune has just been out of rhythm. 38 passing attempts, 21 completions. As that punt caroms out of bounds near the 40. Well, Seth Hennigan, we mentioned his numbers so far, and he's done just enough, but most importantly, no mistakes.
He just hadn't made the big errors in this football game. He's moving around. They've thrown from the pocket with him on the move, showing his athletic ability, and he can make plays with his legs as well when he needs to. Pulling it down, just the presence in mind to still continue to have the eyes down the field. That one turned into a big-time touchdown by his tight end.
And pre-scoring's going to make a lot of quarterbacks look good, but Hennigan, 63% completion percentage. And you hesitate to use the phrase game manager, but certainly he's done all that's been asked of him.
It's actually a compliment to quarterbacks, because you have to manage the game, kind of like a point guard. I tell my guys all the time, I tell DJ all the time that, it's not your job to go out and just take over the game yourself, or as a quarterback would, a talented. It's your job to distribute and get your team involved in the entire process, and not try to take over. When you try to do that, that's when you wind up making mistakes. And so the basketball reference kind of works in this situation.
Well, I like that reference, and as a point guard, he's distributed the football to 8 different targets tonight. Here in Grind City, a lot of people looking at the Memphis backcourt, thinking about what Ja Morant can do this year with the NBA regular season starting next week. Hippolyte missed the tackle. That'll keep the drive going. Another first down, that time for Ducker. From the 44, Memphis on the move once again. You're excited about the NBA.
I am. Can't wait to see the Mavericks get going.
It's weird how they paired us up and we're both Mavs fans. But here in Memphis, I mean, it's Ja Morant. It's grind time. I mean, that's what they do over there at FedEx Forum. Grabbed by Lewis, a stop by Aldu. 3-yard gain. I mean, we appreciate Ja Morant.
No doubt.
Okay.
Love watching him play.
It's incredible. I mean, he attacks the rim. He's angry at the rim.
He's just a Luka guy, you know.
Could be the final play of our third quarter. One in which Memphis has extended that lead by only 3.
You're going to wait and let the clock run out and get to the fourth.
The Tigers handling their business so far, looking for their 5th consecutive win. And with a 13-point lead with 15 minutes to go. Back in Memphis after this. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. 15 minutes to go. Back inside Liberty Stadium. 13-point advantage for the home team. Tigers rocking and rolling. Andre Ware, Roy Philpott, Paul Carcaterra. Tigers this year is one of a handful of teams without a 100-yard rusher or receiver in a single game. So far tonight, that trend could hold. But listen, perhaps on the verge of winning their 5th straight game for Ryan Silverfield.
You know what that tells me? They're just spreading the love around a bunch.
Could be 2 passes. And the heave by Rodgers. End zone, touchdown! Asa Martin. Penalty marker back at the 45. What a play call to start the fourth quarter.
Wow, what a throw. I'm telling you, Rodgers has got a quarterback background somewhere.
It's the second time tonight he was going to try to throw it.
Dimes.
Result of the play is a touchdown. There's a personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 25 of the defense. Fouled and forced on the kickoff. Touchdown Memphis.
Jamal Morris. Second touchdown of the season, Trey, for Asa Martin.
And the presence of mind to buy himself some time. He's supposed to throw it there. He scrambles around, bought some time, put it up, and took an unnecessary hit, but he'd take that over and over again.
That was a rocket to the end zone. Right.
No doubt about it. What a dime. He's making a case.
Ball
for Friday Night Phenom.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. They're going to go for 2. Try to extend this to a 3-touchdown lead. That pass traveled 55 yards in the air. The double nickel. Rodgers with the arm strength as a wide receiver now in motion. And Hennigan off the back foot, back of the end zone. I don't think so. Ivory tried to catch up to it out of bounds. So after the longest play of the night by the Tigers, the lead now extended to 19.
What a throw. It's a heck of a dime that Rodgers throws. And I mean, he stood in there like a quarterback and took one in the chops to complete it. That's getting it done now. Asa Martin. But his concentration, hold on to it in the back of the end zone.
You know, it's interesting talking with Coach Silverfield. And he said specifically, Gabe Rodgers got to have a big night. He's our fastest wide receiver. Tim Cramsey confirmed that to us as well. He's had a big night through the air in multiple ways, but Ryan Silverfield posed the question, how do we get from good to great? And tonight against the team that was the favorite to win the AAC preseason, team that started the year inside the top 25. That's a step in that direction, right, of greatness with still a long ways to go.
We're talking 8 straight seasons where they qualified for a bowl game, and that's counting last year when myself and Cart flew all the way to Hawaii in about an hour and 15 hour and a half, right, Cart, to get there and settle in, and the game gets canceled.
What a mess that was. Look, man, I jumped right back on a plane. You know that. I got right back. I wanted to get home for Christmas. You laugh, Andre. I was just talking to some Memphis people. One person had a Hawaii Bowl Memphis football jacket on, and we were laughing about the same thing.
I wasn't a part of the crew last year. That literally is the 15th time I've heard that story since coming on board in late August this season.
It's a long flight, man.
It's a long ways to go to not play a game.
To not play and not work.
Speaking of the American Athletic Conference, don't forget it's on ESPN Plus. Over 25 college football games this fall. Featured matchup coming your way tomorrow. South Florida travels to Nippert Stadium, the Queen City. Cincinnati back in the top 25. That game kicks at 2:30. Hey, college basketball is quickly returning.
Yes.
Media days in the AAC headed your way next week as well. And listen, Memphis right now in first place, looking at the gridiron. 2-0, the only team at 2-0 in the AAC. A win tonight, all of a sudden you really start to surge in a positive direction. The slight lead against Cincinnati, obviously, with 2 extra games played.
How good is Luke Fickell? And the job that he's done at Cincinnati, another team going to the Big 12 next year, but they are right in the thick of things in the American.
Stacey Sneed along the far side. Tripped up after a short gain of 2 by Rubin.
It's going to be a roughing the passer, looks like, against Jalen Allen on Clayton Tune.
Allen, the 5th-year senior, claiming otherwise.
Long conversation about it.
2 penalties tonight against the Tigers so far, 7 against the Cougars.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 22 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Make that 3 penalties.
And I thought that was the right call, but as the ball's out, he just can't see as he's working against Cameron Johnson that the ball is clearly out and gone. There's no argument in that whatsoever.
Still plenty of time left in this game, but trailing by 19, a must-score drive for Houston that so far has only mustered 7 points this evening. Cougs get an open date after this one before traveling to Annapolis. Face off against Navy. It's going to be Sam Brown. And a long pitch and catch ahead of the 26.
It's a heck of a throw by Clayton Tune over the outstretched hands of coverage and into the midst of Samuel Brown. Standing in nice and tall, delivering on time. They're done.
Third play covering more than 30 yards tonight for the Houston offense. That one went 32 using tempo. Here's 2. And the comeback caught at the 20 by Brown. Tackle again by Rubin.
So young at the receiver spot, with Keyshawn Carter being the lone senior in that group. But Brown's just a redshirt freshman. Matthew Golden, a true freshman. And it's sprinkled just a youth across the board for Clayton Tune.
After a gain of 7, 4 trip into the red zone. It'll be first down and goal as Campbell. Check that, Sneed is tripped up inside the 5.
He's been a little bit banged up the last couple of weeks, but they feel like he's got a chance to be special. He adds some weight off season. He can be a special player. He's a redshirt freshman.
Sneed stays on the field. Get the carry again. And bottled up quickly. No gain.
Averaged about 5 yards a carry last week against Tulane with Sneed. They're going to need his burst. They're going to get back in this thing as we tick closer to 13 minutes. And this is a must score. And I'm not talking about a field goal. They got to get in the end zone right here.
Brandon Campbell back on the field. 2nd and goal from just outside the 6. Cougs got to have a touchdown. Tune floats it, and that one's going to be hauled in. Touchdown by Tank Dell. And from 6 yards out, Cougars trying to sneak back in it here.
For a guy 5'10", 160 pounds, 165 pounds, he's got some soft hands, and he gets the separation that you love as a quarterback. Corner route, little smash concept with an underneath at about 6, and then you're going to the corner if you're the inside receiver. Well thrown, and a nice finish by Tank Dell.
So Dell scores for the 6th time this season, and now the Cougars going to go for 2.
If they're able to come up with this, it's game on.
And at that point, a touchdown, a two-point conversion, and a field goal could potentially tie things up. Dell once again in the slot. Top of the screen. 2 into the flats. Trahan lost possession, incomplete.
Guess who?
Collins.
He's been everywhere, hasn't he, tonight?
Tank Dell finding a way to get his team back in it. Touchdown number 6 on the year. And here come the Cougs, now trailing by 13. Well, our thoughts continue to be with those impacted by Hurricane Ian from this past weekend. You can help by donating at redcross.org/ESPN. And also to help the Red Cross prepare for and respond to this disaster and others. Back in Memphis, 12:44 to go, 26-13. Cougs trying to play the comeback game. Once again, they did it a couple of times in the fourth quarter last week against Tulane. Here's Rogers, and he has a big play waiting to happen. Racing ahead to the 45. So a return of 33. Memphis gets it back.
He is some player, isn't he? As good as advertised, came in averaging about 13.5 yards per catch. A big game against Navy earlier in the year where he had 95 yards receiving, got close to 100. That's the speed and the arm strength has been on display in this one tonight from Gabriel Rogers.
Tigers have done their best work on offense in this fourth quarter. This will be the 3rd straight drive starting the 40-yard line or better for Memphis. And off straight ahead, gains 1, and that's it.
And trying to work some clock with Brandon Thomas. I'm not sure that's the recipe right now. You got to just play. And let things fall as they may. Defense has played well for Memphis. Just play football. For the Cougars, time's against them. I get that you want to run some clock, but now's not the time.
Walkwood made that last stop. We'll see how aggressive Tim Cramsey wants to be with his quarterback Seth Hennigan. His pass sailing out of bounds. Nobody open.
Hey, nobody's open. They say throw it away. He made sure that it was thrown away. In a tent on the Cougar sideline back there.
I was going to say that was almost the first row for number 5. 3rd down and 9.
This is exactly Coach Holgerson and his defense, led by Doug Belk, the defensive coordinator. They need a 3-and-out and the football back in the hands of Clayton Tune. And if you're Memphis, you need to convert here in a big way.
Big play here on 3rd and long. Hennigan steps up. Hennigan crossing into plus territory. The drive stays alive.
Smart. That's the smarts we talk about with Hennigan. He didn't slide. Went head first to make sure he got every single yard out of this scramble. There's a time to slide, and when it's 3rd down, as a quarterback and a leader on the football team, you got to take things on your shoulders and go make a play there, knowing exactly where he was on the field.
Think about what Tim Cramsey told us. He said sometimes he'll be talking to his quarterback, and he talks about a certain rep, a certain progression, and his quarterback, Seth Hennigan, corrects him, citing that his offensive coordinator is thinking about something from a long time ago, and Hennigan turns out to be right on occasion, just showing you his knowledge of the offense on the reception by Lewis.
Super smart.
Super smart indeed. He had a 4.9 in high school, he told me. I thought it stopped at like 4.5 weighted. That's probably twice as much as mine in high school.
He could be like Ryan Glover, maybe end up at the Wharton School of Business.
Yeah, 39-2. Tells you how productive the kid was in high school at Denton Ryan. 39-2 as a high school quarterback.
They're still playing pretty good ball over there right now with
great high school program.
Just north of Dallas.
With great facilities as well.
Seems like that's the case everywhere in Texas. Another first down. Rodgers carrying defenders inside the 20. How about the power that time for number 9 in gray and blue?
They go blitz. And Hennigan, with the smarts, knows exactly where to go with the football. They're going to bring pressure off the edge, the vacated area, prime real estate for a nice slant route. And the safety's a little bit too deep to help out. The result, big play by Rodgers.
5 catches, 71 yards, including 25 on that grab. Tigers offense heating up once again late. Under 10 minutes to play. Hand off to Thomas. Stopped by Jones.
And showing you just how much confidence they have in Seth Hennigan. Continuing to run the offense, continuing to go through the process, him knowing where to go with the football. They're not backing down right now. They're not trying to run the clock out. Just running the offense. And we happen to do it on first down for no gain. Come back and we got 2 downs to pick up this first down. Well, the approach that Tim Cramsey has taken in this possession.
Did you ever correct your offensive coordinator, Coach Jenkins?
No.
I know he's watching tonight. That's one of the reasons I wanted to ask.
No.
Hennigan escapes again inside the 10.
I'll tell you this, though. He gave me a tremendous amount of freedom. Because if I knew, if I felt confident about something, he allowed me to call it and run it. And you had to be able to check in and out of plays in our offense to get us to something that was better than the play that might have been called. And that was just part of the process. And I think if you're not at that level, even on in the collegiate game, you're playing the position with one hand tied behind your back.
Big play for Doug Belk's crew. Third ward defense. 3rd down. Trying to get to the edge is Thomas, and he will not get there. So a field goal here still keeps it as a 2-score game. Antonio Brooks was waiting for him near the 10.
Let's go, not allowing Memphis to outflank them here. They keep great leverage. And Nunnery, the linebacker, with the speed to get to the edge and keep the leverage, where Martin can't turn up. A big play here in the game.
Chris Howard from 26 yards. The field goal attempt coming.
Been perfect all year.
Splits the uprights for the chip shot. 29-13. 8 minutes to go in Memphis.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Really one of the great rivalries inside the American Athletic Conference. So many nail-biters and games dictating the conference championship, which should be the final matchup between these two, obviously, as AAC members. And Seth Hennigan said it this week. This is a team that we don't like. This series has been close, extremely competitive the first meeting back in 1963, but we don't like the Cougs. We want to send them out of the league into the Big 12 with an L.
Revenge from last year. The Cougs actually won that game 31-13 at home. It's been Memphis tonight so far.
Trying to wrap up this 4-game homestand with 5th straight win overall. 2-score game. 8 minutes to go. Jace Rodgers waiting on the convoy, makes a cut. There goes Rodgers into Memphis territory. Is this the big play the Cougars have needed? The answer is yes. There are no flags on the field. Touchdown, Houston.
What a return by Jace Rodgers. He's played a solid game in his own right. 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That's how you get back in a game in a quick way. Awaiting the extra point. But, wow. Shot out of a cannon was Jace Rodgers. It opened up. And then it's just, does he have enough speed? to get to the end zone. Yes.
Now down by 10. You obviously go for 2 here, so Clayton Tune trots on the field. And a chance to make this a one-score game with still a ton of time remaining.
Something here dialing up with Tank Dell in the backfield. Trying to get him matched up on a linebacker and let him work. And they're going to call a timeout because they had Jay Collins, who was the only defender to that side, who could check Tank Dell. And, boy, you wanted to get that one snapped if you're Clayton Tune.
Zay Collins alertly calling a timeout was the Memphis staff, and Dana Holgorsen back to the drawing board. And what would you draw up here needing the 2-point play? 7:47 to go.
I'm going to go back to that smash route because he's so dynamic from the slot. And you get someone coming underneath, you know that Memphis is going to come after you, or they'll lock up man-to-man. And that's your best chance against that coverage.
It was a week ago we saw the comeback by Washington in the Rose Bowl. 8-point game late after trailing big to start the fourth quarter. We've seen some crazy finishes on Friday night.
A lot of time left in this baby.
Dell back in the backfield.
It's man across the board.
No motion out. They'll go the other way. Brown, end zone. Did he get a foot down? No.
That motion and no linebackers in the middle of the field. I'm thinking Clayton Tune would keep it on a quarterback draw, but they try the fade route to the corner. Oliver in coverage on Brown. It's a little bit too far out of bounds.
Sam Brown almost got 1 foot in. We turned to Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matt, what did you see?
Yeah, Roy, the rule here is when the entire foot ends up coming to the ground in a normal foot motion, the entire foot must be in bounds. This is what we call a toe heel. Toe was in, heel was out. He could have dragged the toe, he could have dotted the I, then he would have been fine. But if the whole foot touches down, it's got to be in bounds.
Great explanation. 2-point conversion, no good. Lead remains 10 points for Memphis. Brown came close, and that initial thought as we went out to break, maybe he was able to sneak something down. Whole foot's got to stay inbounds in that sequence, Dre.
Yeah, once his body turns back into the field of play, the best way I've explained it is that once you turn and face the field of play, now your entire foot has to come down in bounds. If your back is away from the quarterback, you can tap or drag, and then that's sufficient as being a catch.
Timeout on the ensuing kickoff, and perhaps an onside kick coming. Cougs still have all 3 timeouts remaining in a 10-point game. Plenty of time for Clayton Tune. Too early for the onside kick?
I think so. Yeah, just you got to play it out. You got 3 timeouts. Still a lot of football to be played here.
Bubba backs up. Backs up. He is going to try to onside kick it, looking for that big hop. Got to go 10 yards. Memphis jumps on it. So after allowing the first kick return for a touchdown in 4 years, Tigers get it back with Eddie Lewis making the recovery. The big plays on offense, Trey, they've been there tonight.
Yeah, they really have, and it's been through both avenues. On the ground, Asa Martin breaking a nice big one. You bring in Ryan Glover. He gave this offense a spark. He went on to kick a field goal, and then Seth Hennigan to Caden Prieskorn, getting himself in the end zone. They've done it in a variety of ways, spreading the football around to different players, and then some trickery with Gabe Rogers throwing a touchdown pass to Asa Martin in the back of the end zone. Memphis has done it. 8 plays of 20 or more yards tonight. You see there's 7 passes of 15+ yards, but 5 rushes. They've got 5 rushes for 10 or more. And it's all coming from different players.
Gabe Rogers through the air as a receiver, through the air as a quarterback, as Ducker produces another first down.
And another 10+ yard run.
I mean, that's like the 2022 version of Cordell Stewart. right?
Yeah,
Slash.
I think he's well on his way to being a Friday night phenom.
You called that about a quarter ago, I believe. Ducker's number is starting to notch up considerably. Halfway through the fourth. Tigers taking their time. The 10-point advantage. Ducker again across the 30.
I got a question about the Friday night phenoms. Is this like a democracy? All three of us have some skin in the game, or is this Andre makes a decision and we just sit around and listen?
It's a democracy. Who are you pointing to?
Number 9 in blue, man. He's popped. He's done everything. Returning kicks, throwing touchdowns. I'll tell you, when he threw that ball, that release was gorgeous.
Well, the ball traveled 55 yards in the air.
Yeah, and
right?
it was 55 yards in the air. We're on board with you, Cart. He's having some game tonight.
And I beg to differ on the democracy. As the new kid on the block, I haven't really gotten to say much of anything. In fact, I get rejected, turned down, swatted away more times than I would like to admit on air.
Yeah, but you got breakfast this morning, so
I did.
That means we like you.
Breakfast was great, courtesy of Andre Ware. Third down. There's 6 minutes to go. You're inside Simmons Bank, Liberty Stadium. Tigers trying to win their 5th in a row.
And where's Gabe Rogers, a Priest going on? This big down with it being 3rd down and medium here, 3rd and 6.
Priest switches sides. Now Hennigan escapes. Hennigan on the ground. And a smart play to keep that clock moving. Picks up the first down. Got down quickly.
Nice job. I love it. 3rd down again. Don't slide, fall forward. When you get past the line of scrimmage, get every yard that you've earned and not sliding to bring the change into play where you're short.
I mean, this certainly is an added dimension now in the Memphis offense with last week against Temple and tonight, especially on 3rd down. Hennigan just finding ways to keep the chains moving. That's his 3rd rushing first down of the evening.
19 carries last week.
Right. And I think he's comfortable in that role. You guys talked about the added weight. Over 20 pounds since he first stepped foot on campus as a true freshman.
I like the fact that he's smart with it as well. You know, he's running, but there's a purpose for when he pulls it down. You're gonna play zone coverage. Well, he's gonna make you pay, but he's smart, get himself down and protecting himself. That way he stays healthy for 12 games.
Yeah, one more game for you tomorrow night that I find interesting. Florida State on the road at NC State. A couple of teams coming off losses that feel like they should be, you know, ranked highly, perhaps.
And NC State rebound from your alma mater's whipping they put on them last week.
Yeah, 30-20. Devin Leary looked mortal for a couple of quarters, and he's going to have to find a way to attack the Seminoles defense. Asa Martin the carry, the tackle by Jones here. 3rd down.
Cougars decided to spend a timeout. They're first in the 2nd half here.
Timeout as we step aside as well. 4:16 remaining. Big 3rd down coming up for the Tigers after this. Tigers have not trailed, a 10-point lead, 4:16 remaining. We have checked with the polls. The results are in. Our Friday night phenom, no surprise. Gabe Rogers, passing touchdowns on the ground, through the air as a receiver. Impressive.
Yeah, he really has been. And end arounds, done it on the ground, through the air, receiving.
3rd down call to Brandon Thomas. Sent down short of the 20 by Owens. Cougs still with 2 timeouts remaining. They'll utilize one here. And now an interesting call for Memphis, and you assume the field goal. 4th and long. What do you like about his game and what we've seen?
Everything, speed, and it kills. I mean, he's done it in a variety of ways. Big 3rd down, they decide to go to him on a little pitch, kind of end around. He's able to navigate his way through, pick up a first down. They come back to him again to pick up a first down on 3rd down, and he delivers. Then in the receiving game,
So smooth once he gets the ball in his hands. How about this one? The touchdown pass to Asa Martin. A dime from Gabe Rogers. Some game he's entertained tonight.
All smiles for the fifth-year senior out of Jackson, Mississippi. Now Chris Howard set to attempt a field goal from 39 yards out. Perfect tonight and on the season in the field goal department. Right hash, kick on the way. And he has been Mr. Automatic.
You have a good one. It changes. It's a game changer. And you got Joe Doyle, who is an outstanding punter in his own right. They are buttoned up in special teams. You know, we were talking about Memphis not having, or one of a couple of teams to not have a 100-yard receiver or 100-yard rusher because they spread it around so much. Five guys have rushed for 20 or more yards, and 6 receivers have 25 or more yards. That's spreading the love around. So you're not getting production from just one player. You're playing basically team offense by spreading the football around.
Ryan Silverfield will take it. On the verge of improving to 15-2 at home. And Jace Rogers back deep to receive for the Cougs. And keep an eye, number 6, after he took it to the house 100 yards out just moments ago.
I don't know that I would kick to him again. Make sure this baby gets out of the back of the end zone, because one thing I do know, if it doesn't go out of the back, he's going to return it.
Noah Grant thinking along those lines as you say the words.
He's lined up left of the kicker. I'd make sure it goes right.
Way right. And off the bounce, the touchback. Well, you think about the Houston mistakes. 2 trips deep into the red zone inside the 5 of the Tigers defense. Critical goal line stand in this one.
Yeah, and this may be the game changer where they were able to turn away Brandon Campbell. A quarterback sneak, they hold up, they go back to Campbell again on 4th down, and I think that's what turned this game around for Memphis. Made it tough on the Cougs. They follow it up, playing, rewarding the defense's effort with a field goal and a long drive to cap it off.
Number 25, Tune steps up, drills a pass incomplete.
One you gotta have.
Kion Wafer.
Another young redshirt freshman receiver. At this point in the season, those are passes that gotta be caught. Not perfectly thrown, but you still gotta catch them.
Cougs in search of their first win here since 2014. Headed off to the Big 12 next season. Tune again steps up and delivers a pass that's high. Receiver was walloped crossing the middle, and that was Tank Dell.
Collins as well in coverage. He made a case for himself on the defensive side of things. Maybe if he put him in, let him throw a touchdown, he'll be a Friday night phenom. He had to split the love with Rodgers.
3rd and 10. Laid handoff goes nowhere. Ducksworth sniffed that one out early. A loss of yardage for Stacy Snead.
Ducksworth. It's a 3-man rush, and you think you can sneak a drop play underneath and get guys up on the 2nd level. Ducksworth plays it extremely well.
4th and 11, Cougs got to go. Got to have it here to have any kind of chance. 2. Off the fake.
Yeah,
and a couple of long strides results in a crazy first down.
That's competing right there. And leadership. Not quitting on the play. He got tremendous pass rush right in his face. Guys grabbing on his jersey, and he just found a way to keep the play alive.
15 yards on 4th and 11. Moving quickly. Dell. The crosser is available. Two defenders miss. He'll pick up a first down at the 50.
He took a shot. Smith and Ross in there, pinging him around.
No quit. These Cougars tonight. Dell again off the screen. Close to another first down. Tripped up by Ross.
Dangerous weapon.
Clock moving quickly. Under 2.5 to go. Cougs with 1 timeout remaining. And the handoff straight ahead. Another first down on 2nd and short. As Snead gets inside the 30.
This is my recipe for when you're stale on offense. Speed things up. Now you all of a sudden you got creases to run through, receivers open to throw to. Instead of being in the huddle, break the huddle, go to the line of scrimmage. Just run plays. Take the thinking out of it.
Dangerous pass. Head to the 29, maybe the 28. Sam Brown. Oliver in coverage.
Brown's able to get himself out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. Split quickly and maybe an onside kick.
Second and 9. Two. Short completion. Brown shoved out by Oliver again.
This is the time as a receiver. If I catch it and I'm close to the sideline, make sure you're getting out of bounds to save the time. If you're a crosser on a crossing route, get what you can get and then try to get out of bounds. Find a way into the end zone right here.
Third and 7. Tune wants to go deep. Nearly intercepted off the carry. Well, Hastings loved to have that one back.
It hit him right in the hands. Tune a little bit high with the football. Maybe that ball may have been tipped. Like it took a different direction. It was through the intended receiver Brown off course, as well as Hastings on the back end.
Another 4th and long. Dana Holgorsen can barely look. Campbell checks in at running back. Tune escapes again. Right at the line of scrimmage, delivers a strike to Dell. And that'll keep the drive alive. Hastings brought him down quickly.
How tough is Dell? Took one in the hip. And I mean, it was a shot, but he's right back up.
The two came close to crossing the line of scrimmage. Will snap it quickly towards the end zone. Caught for the touchdown. Keyshawn Carter brings it in. He got a foot in bounds.
On now. 1:17 left, a timeout. You just scored and you got an opportunity for an onside kick.
Carter, the senior.
Nice throw there by Clayton Tune, continuing to compete. 2 big 4th down conversions. One running and then that one to Keyshawn Carter for a touchdown.
32-25, extra point coming. 75 yards in 12 plays. Kyle Ramsey checks in for the PAT. And Ramsey connects on his first attempt of the season. Well, how about that possession? An onside kick coming. Obviously, something has to happen there, but Clayton Tune.
Yeah, big drive by Clayton Tune, getting himself out of harm's way and then running, willing himself for a first down. A couple of nice runs in there by Brandon Campbell, as well as Stacy Snead. And Tune once again close to the line of scrimmage as you described, but Tank Dell, his top receiver, coming up with a big catch, and then it's Carter to finish the drive off.
Now this game perhaps a bit higher scoring than many expected after that sequence. Onside kick coming for the Cougs. Dre, this is a play that they practice all the time in college. You guys used to do it back in the day. Dana Holgorsen, this team have done it this season. Looking for that second or third hop that bounces high. We've already seen one attempt that came up for not earlier. And it will be Kyle Ramsey. Already 31 points scored in this fourth quarter. Will there be more? Ramsey sizes it up, looking for the bounce. Oh, he got it! Did the Cougs get it?
I think so.
Was it Trahan?
Yes, he did.
New life for Houston. Unbelievable.
1:14 and a timeout, and they go to Kyle Ramsey for the onside kick here. Sophomore out of Ridgepoint High School. And Trahan comes down with it, and there is life on the Cougar sideline.
Oh boy, 1:14 remaining.
Buckle up, partner.
Cougars with one timeout left, trailing by 6, trying to save their season.
Nobody over Tank Dell right now.
Snead in the backfield. 2. There it is. First down to Brown. All the way ahead to the 30-yard line. The tackle by Evans.
They can basically throw the football any area of the field because they have the one timeout left. Should have had 2 plays called in the huddle.
Plenty of time left. Tuned to the flats. And dancing out of bounds is Snead.
Nice job. Nice heads-up play by Stacy Snead to get himself out of bounds, stop the clock. 58 seconds left. No need to cut back inside. Then you got to waste the one timeout that you have.
58 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10.
Well, you want a good game, just tune in on Friday nights.
It has been unbelievable.
Unreal.
Snead motions out. 2 across the middle, another first down. Ahead to the 15 goes Keyshawn Carter.
I'm going to take the time out here to settle things down. The chains are moving. That will stop the clock, get a play called.
First down from the 15. Quick toss. The screen game is there. Far side, the twist, the turn, it'll be first and goal. Brown again, and here come the Cougs. Looking for a Friday night miracle.
Excellent block by Tank Dell. First and goal. With 35 seconds, and now the clock's running.
Tuned to the air. Off the fake. Buys some time and throws it away wisely. Cullens applying the pressure. 2nd and goal with 21 seconds remaining. Cougs still with one timeout. Drake, can you run it here?
I might have taken it after that first and goal because you need the downs, and the downs come with the time. So you don't want to waste a play here. You want every opportunity. Obviously, you're going to throw it, but with the one timeout left in their back pocket, it does bring in a run scenario here.
Keep an eye on Tank Dell.
This looks like a smash route where the outside receiver comes underneath and Dell goes to the corner.
Toon looking the other way. End zone! Touchdown! Keyshawn Carter. The Cougars have never led tonight, an extra point away from doing exactly that and stealing a game on the road.
And what a comeback by the Cougars. They never quit. They stayed the course. Their quarterback, Clayton Tune, continued to compete on 4th down on a couple of a possession ago. And
here we are.
Ramsey on for the point after, and it is good. 33-32. The Cougar comeback nearly complete.
Unreal. What a drive after the onside kick by Kyle Ramsey. Clayton Tune goes to work. And first it's Samuel Brown to get the drive started. Then he comes across the middle to Keyshawn Carter. Quickly to the ball, they get it up the field to Samuel Brown, again, who's growing up right before Cougar fans' eyes, and Carter seals the deal with a touchdown reception from Tune. What a comeback. With 18 seconds left on the clock, Memphis with only one timeout remaining.
Tigers have won 4 straight. Houston season on the verge. The preseason favorites in the AAC. You think about the overtime losses, all the close games. Comes down to an onside kick. Trahan comes up clutch. And then a couple of late touchdowns by Keyshawn Carter. Unbelievable finish tonight in Memphis.
I mean, 58 minutes, it was just basically all Memphis, and then the Cougars came to life. The onside kick, Trahan recovers, gave him another lifeline, and wow, what a ball game.
26 points in the fourth quarter for Houston. Memphis with a timeout and 18 seconds to work with. And it's not over yet. How about the insertion of Kyle Ramsey into the lineup with the onside kick, couple of PATs.
Another thing that can't go unnoticed, that kickoff return by Jace Rogers.
Up backfields it cleanly at the 26.
That kind of got it started. That was a momentum changer in this ball game in the fourth quarter.
17 seconds remaining for Memphis and Seth Hennigan. What's the thought process?
You got to find the sidelines if you're Seth Hennigan and Memphis's offense. You got the one timeout, so it'll give you one shot to where you can throw the ball wherever you want and then still get the timeout without having to rush to the line of scrimmage. As well, you got to keep in mind, in college football, the clock stops to move the chains, so that'll give you some additional yards, but you got to get linemen up to the football. It's not impossible. It needs a field goal.
And one of the best kickers so far in the country, and Chris Howard. Hennigan buys some time, throws on the run. With the timeout, the pass is caught the 42 by Ivory.
That's a first down. The clock should stop. They should be able to get set and spike the football here. And they spin the timeout. And they really didn't have to.
Howard is connected from as far away as 47 yards this season.
I'm not sure why he spent the timeout. First down, the clock's going to stop. And then give you time for the chains to reset. You snap it and clock it. That's a 2-3 second runoff, regardless of the situation. So I might have held on to that timeout as long as I possibly could.
Howard trying to stay loose. Different story for him this season. Transfer from Florida, fifth-year senior.
And now you lose the ability to call the timeout to get the field goal unit on the field. But you got to get to field goal range first.
Cougars trailed by 19 in the fourth quarter. They can somehow find a way to hold on here this evening. Be the first time in 130 games this season a team has rallied from that deficit. 2022 to win. After the timeout, Hennigan's going to be sacked.
It's a ball game.
And that'll do it. The Houston Cougars find a way on the road to save their season. Bell comes up with a sack. What a game.
What a ball game. First 19
9-point comeback. Win since 2016. Never quit. They played for 60 minutes. Wow.
Paul Carcaterra.
Coach, that game was nuts. You told me at halftime you're always trailing in these type of games. For 6 straight games, you're down 14. You don't take the lead until 18 seconds. How did this happen?
It's what we've done all year. You know, it's just the ball bounced our way today. You know, 2 or 3 of these other times have been in the same situation at the end of the game, and the ball hasn't bounced our way. So our guys just hang in there. They keep fighting. They ignore everything that's going on. Regardless of what the score is, they keep playing. Had a chance to win, and we found a way to win. We talked about it all week.
Your offense found their groove with Clayton Tune, your quarterback. Where was he at his best?
Just getting out there and seeing things and making plays and making checks. I think we were too heavy early in the game, so we kind of settled in on some 10 personnel. He saw everything, just kept putting the ball in play. I'm so proud of him right now. He's been fighting hard. You know, he hasn't wavered with his commitment to this football team. Had a chance to shut things down there, and he didn't, man. I'm very proud of him and this whole football team.
Take a deep breath and enjoy this one, Coach.
Dang, thanks, man. Go Cougs.
26 points in the fourth quarter. We gave you the numbers earlier. First win by an FBS team when trailing by 19 or more in the fourth quarter this season. Previously, those teams 0 and 129. 33-32 the final score for Andre Ware and Paul Carcaterra. I'm Roy Philpott saying thanks for watching. Coming up right now, Formula One Japanese Grand Prix practice.